Hey everybody, welcome one and all to Lost Caravan RPG, where we are playing tonight a little game of Vaesen. We'll get into that. We'll talk about all of that here in a moment, as well as meet our wonderful players. Now, it's my first time jamming here, so I'm kind of going to just do what I think I have to do. And if I'm not doing it in the same order, just like everybody else, call my agent and fire me. Welcome to Lost Caravan RPG. We do one-shots, mini-series, long-running campaigns. If it's TTRPG, we pretty much do it all. My name is Bleak Season. You can find me at The Bleak Season pretty much everywhere. I run games on my own channel, as well as on Guild Superior. Tonight we are playing Vaesen, which is a game published by Free League Publishing. And just before I get around to introducing these wonderful people that have agreed to play this game with me here tonight, I have a few announcements I would like to make for the channel. First, we have a few sponsors here tonight. We have Epidemic Sounds who's sponsoring us. You will hear some of their wonderful little music tonight. You can use our links to get to Epidemic Sound. We also are sponsored by the Live Laugh Leshy. See, I had to stop thinking about it. Live Laugh Leshy Kickstarter, as well as the Orbital Blues Afterburn Kickstarter. All three of these, in fact, should be popping up in our chat. They are very wonderful people who take good care of us. So please go and visit them. Drop by their links. Say hi. Helps us out a lot and helps us bring you these wonderful games that we do. If you do want to check out our previous streams, we have hundreds of hours of content just waiting for you on our YouTube channel. If you want to support us and our community, checking out our merch, you can find that at our website, lostcaravanrpg.com. And now, please, my friends, I would like to go around and let my wonderful players introduce themselves. Tell us who they are, what's going on, what's happening, who they're playing tonight. And I have decided that I will begin with Jeet.
This is incredibly rude. Hi, I am Jeet. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me all over the gosh darn internet at WeebJeet, and I mean literally anywhere that you need to find me, I'm at that. Tonight I will be playing Carlisle Holmes, sort of private detective type, ready to solve a mystery.
We'll see if you manage to solve it or if the mystery solves you.
I think it's going to be the former.
We shall see. Thank you very much, Jeet. Happy to be sharing a table with you again. We had a good time before. I look forward to having a good time again tonight. Next up, I would like to introduce Robin. Hi, Robin. How you doing?
Hello, my name is Robin, Ginger Brigade on Blue Sky and Twitch. I am playing Althea Thyssen tonight. She is a doctor who does a lot of autopsying and takes care of people. At least she tries. So
I think she does it right.
Hopefully.
There's only like 24 people have died under her care. It's like nothing. It's really nothing.
Blame the time frame, not the doctor.
Exactly. Medicine at this point in time in the 1830s, it was what it was.
Working with what she's got.
Exactly. Leeches and amputations. What you gonna do? Thank you so much. I look forward to playing with you for the first time tonight. Somebody else that I'm playing for the first time with tonight, Mary Kate. How you doing, Mary Kate?
Hi, doing pretty good tonight. I'm Mary, also known as the Nerd on Wheels or Nerd on Wheels 15 on the internet. Tonight I am playing Laura Lee Stewart. Her pronouns are she, her, and my pronouns are she, her. And she is our hunter for this evening.
Hunting out in the woods like Daniel Boone did back in the day. So what's happening? I love that.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, that thing you got behind you is very colorful. It's very it's like what's that bird?
It's a nice mandala pattern. Keep things calm as we're all getting freaked out by the creepy crawlies happening tonight.
Oh, nothing creepy is going to happen tonight. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a pastoral trek through the New England fields. You don't believe me, and that's okay. Somebody else right now who is very incredulous and does not believe me would be Mir. Hi, Mir. How you doing? You are muted.
You're muted.
Mir.
I do that every time. Hey, I'm Mir. Pronouns are she, her. I am playing Juliana Thyssen, the lovely wife of Althea. Her pronouns are also she, her. And I am our occultist for tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mia. Thank you, everybody. I'm super glad to be here, be playing with you. I always love meeting new people, introducing new people to the wonderful game of Vaesen. I would like to say that if you do not own Vaesen and you're interested in it, Free League is giving it away for free right now on Drive-Thru RPG. So you just pop on over and you'll see that the core rulebook is there for free. I mean, it's not going to get any cheaper than that. They're not going to come to your house to pay you to get it. So it's right there. It's a wonderful game. You'll get to see it put in action tonight. Speaking of Vaesen, it is a game of horror to a certain degree. It's not super hardcore horror. We're not playing Cult here and Killing Angels, but it is usually a game of Nordic horror. So it's usually set in Scandinavia. But what we've done for tonight is we've transplanted into New England in 1830s, simply because I had an idea and it felt like an interesting little place to go and visit with Vaesen. We're using the rule set arbor, and so we have had discussions, fill out lines and veils, all that good stuff. We got safety tools, so we are safe. Stay safe too. And if ever things that you're seeing tonight are not quite up your alley, well, please take a break. It's always good. You can come back to it later if you need to. I think that's about it. My friends, are you ready to travel to New England, where apparently the devil is in residence? All right. Let's see how that goes. The day is done, and the darkness falls from the wings of night, as a feather is wafted downward from an eagle in his flight. I see the lights of the village gleam through the rain and the mist, and a feeling of sadness comes over me that my soul cannot resist. A feeling of sadness and longing that is not akin to pain, and resembles sorrow only as the mist resembles the rain. That is from William Wadsworth Longfellow, who, in my little world of Vaesen, happens to be the sort of unofficial head of a group called the Revere Society, based in Boston, who have taken it upon themselves to investigate matters of the occult and the supernatural. A few members of this society, which is not super organized. It's not like they got membership cards, secret handshakes, and regular meetings. It's more loose association of people who exchange information and help each other out. And then once in a while, when called upon to go and investigate some strange happening somewhere, a few people are selected for their skills, bundled up together, and sent forth to solve mysteries. A lot of you are all part of the Revere Society to some extent or another. Some of you have done work for them before. Some of you have been their work before. And some of you are perhaps attempting your first mission with them. But you have been chosen for this particular one. You were summoned a few days ago by Mr. Longfellow himself to meet him at his offices in Boston. When you came, he showed you a letter that was written by a man that he knows, a lawyer from a small town called Petersham in west of Boston, still in Massachusetts. The letter, which you read, went thusly. Dear Mr. Longfellow, I know it has been quite some time since we last saw each other, but I've been aware of some of your more recent exploits. There is a situation here in Petersham, one that I fear may be better addressed to a man with your proclivities and with any agents of the law. You see, my dear Longfellow, I fear the devil is here. We are a quaint little town, very quiet and without much ado. However, and this may seem strange even to one such as yourself, we've recently become the site of many unexplainable happenings. First, a black church has begun appearing in a nearby field at night. The doors are locked, no one inside, but it sits there, dark and foreboding as the ugliest of sins, until the first ray of light, at which point it disappears after tolling its bell. Second, two of our most important citizens have been murdered, and again, this may seem news of the strangest sort, but the murders appear to be unnatural. The first was our bailiff, Mr. Byron Stote, and then, God have mercy, it was Judge Harriet Fordyce. Both were killed at their homes, their skulls bashed in by some unholy force. Finally, and this is what really brings me to write to you, which should give you pause given everything I've just said. Several villagers believe they have seen the devil himself prowl our streets. Many have seen him on bent legs, hooves for feet, and ram's horns on his head, a stench of brimstone in his wake. I am deathly afraid there are more deaths on the horizon. I entreat you to send help, the same kind of specialized help you sent to Concord last year. And maybe your only hope. I remain your friend, Royal Rhodes, Esquire, lawyer. And so, my friends, having been made aware of this situation, having been told without any equivocation by Mr. Longfellow that Royal Rhodes was a good, honest, God-fearing Christian, not one to, set the pranks of any sort, and that this matter was to be taken most seriously, he has asked you to make your way to Petersham and just see what's going on there. And so you've been traveling by carriage for a couple of days and nights now to reach your destination. During this travel, each of you have experienced a small moment, perhaps a moment of joy, a moment of fear, or simply a quiet moment of Zen-like quietude. I would like you, we'll go around, and I would like you to tell us what that moment is, but use that opportunity also to tell us a little bit about your character, who your character is, and what people would see when they look upon your character. And so we will, I don't want to put anyone on the spot too much, so I will ask if anyone is ready to go first with this particular little exercise of ours. And if not, it'll be Jeet.
I guess I'll just go first voluntarily before it's me on purpose, right? That's the only
Bite the
way I
bullet.
get out ahead of this one.
Bite the bullet. It's fine.
But
You can do it.
good. So you would see in a darker carriage, a gentleman dressed in gentleman's finery, black and whites mixed together, gloves, and a cane with a raven's head handle. To maybe the keener eyes, clearly not a whole cane, as there is a seam where the head sits on the cane itself, but a cane all the same. Slicked black hair, no facial hair in sight, seemingly barren from the get. Watching out the window as they drive, a single solemn moment of a group of crows in the field mourning the death of another, as they hold a funeral for their fallen comrade. Sun just barely setting on the horizon behind them.
Wonderful. And for this, I will award you an advantage that you can use at a later point
Delightful.
this evening. Who would like to go next?
Okay, I'll do it. I was waiting to see, but I'll do it. Okay. So Althea is unlike most women of the period who are dressed in like full skirt covering ankle and such. Althea wears pants and high boots because it is harder to do her work in skirts, and she needs the mobility and the ease of movement. So she's wearing dark blues and blacks, which is extreme contrast to her shock red hair, like extremely bright ginger, possibly from the Isles, but does not sound like she is. And this I have the glasses, so we're using the glasses. A very thin rimmed set of spectacles on her face. For most of the trip, she's been nose in a book. It is one of her doctor's sketchbooks from one of her probably a month or two ago autopsies that she has done of something that was not exactly human. And she's close to a breakthrough, but she's missing that one piece to put all the pieces together. And so she's been milling it over and making notes in the margins as the trip has gone.
Excellent. Thank you very much. You also will get an advantage, perhaps, to help you find that last piece that you're searching for. Next, I would suggest we go to perhaps Althea's spouse.
Okay. Juliana is a smaller, slighter woman. Brown hair pulled up loosely. And she's definitely wearing more color than her wife. Though it's a bit faded, it's a bit rough around the hems. Like she doesn't quite pay attention to keeping all of it nice. But she's there and she's in skirts, and as an occultist, she has to blend in a little bit more a lot of the time. So it makes do. And when you grew up running around the forest and village and fields in skirts, you just kind of get used to it. For her moment, the place they stopped on the way to overnight, she stood outside to watch the sunset out on the outskirts of town, because it gave her that familiar feeling of home and the part of the countryside that she grew up in.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. You also will get an advantage at a moment of your choosing. And finally, but certainly not least, we have Laura Lee. Laura, tell us a little bit about what your trip's been like.
Yeah, so I think we find Laura Lee giving Carlisle some time at funeral, like sort of off, like at the side of that graveyard, kind of watching over things to make sure everything is safe. But and I think that she's just, as she's scanning the area, she spots a crossroads that when she first looked wasn't necessarily there before. She's got long blonde, like honey blonde hair pulled up into a bun, and loosely around her face is like little wisps of hair coming down. She wears a buttoned shirt and vest with a tie, and has sort of morphed into both worlds of the one she grew up and the one that she's used to now, with a pair of pants and like a almost like a coat dress over top of them. But she, as this funeral's going on, she walks up to the crossroads and leaves behind something she just carries around, usually one of them with her at all times, but it's a little like corn husk doll that she kind of sets at the crossroads, kind of pays respects, and then goes back to her vigil of watching over to make sure that no harm comes to her companion.
And as you leave the crossroads, a familiar air, a bit of music plays far in the distance. It is all songs that you have heard here and there ever since you first visited such a crossroads. What does it mean? Well, perhaps we'll find out at some point. Very good. You also get an advantage to use at a moment of your choosing later. Just a reminder that an advantage in this case is 2 extra dice that you get to roll. You travel thusly to Peter's home, arriving late in the afternoon. The small town of Peter's home is currently in the dying throes of autumn. A few red and amber leaves still cling desperately to the gnarled branches of trees, while the smell of wood smoke carries on the wind. You can see bushels of apples, many already rotting, as well as barrels of cider and ales being rolled from the back of wagons into the waiting, hungry mouths of basement cellars. Out in the field, the last of the harvest has long been brought in, and the earth now lays fallow and sleeping, prepared for the long winter months ahead. All about the town, villagers move hurriedly, wearing thick wool coats and hand-knit scarves. In every face you see the mark of some deep-seated woe, as if the tense atmosphere you felt the second you arrived had been here for some time and didn't seem ready to lift. People eye you suspiciously. Not only are you strangers, but you are city folk. It's clear something is wrong here. People huddle in small groups, talking in hushed tones, shaking their heads, making the sign of the cross. You wonder if some new calamity has not struck while you traveled here. As you alight from the carriage and try to stretch out the kinks from a long, difficult road, you hear a few notes being plucked from a banjo, but cannot make out its provenance. Ahead of you is the Wick and Tallow Inn. You also have on a piece of paper an address, that of the barrister Royal Rhodes, whose letter first brought you here. My friends, what do you do?
Well, we should probably put our things in the inn so that they don't get stolen. Anybody else object to this?
By all means.
Then I guess we're gonna go for the inn.
Yeah.
Very well. You walk into the inn, and you get some of the things you expect. In that there is a nice fireplace going. You do smell food cooking. There's some bread that's been baking, and something else that's kind of warm and spicy that's cooking. But what you don't see are a bunch of people having a good time. There are a few people here and there sitting quietly at tables. There are candles at each table are burning very low. The atmosphere is kind of dark and heavy in here. There's a couple of old hunting dogs that are lying down by the fireplace. One of them lifts up its head as you come in and kind of gives you, a bit of a suspicious glare, but then just goes back to snoring. There's a man behind the counter. He's very big and burly. He's got a white beard, that kind of comes down and goes over his lip. Shaggy mop of hair, brown vest, and he's cleaning out a mug or something. And as you approach, he raises an eyebrow and he goes, "Just come in from Boston, did you then?"
What?
Very well. Will you be needing food or place to stay, rooms? We don't have much, but what we do have is available. It's not like we have visitors or anything.
Rooms, please, sir.
Well, there'll be 4 rooms.
3.
He nods, goes about. Sit yourselves wherever you want. As he's mucking about, finding some keys for rooms and whatnot, there's a young woman who's probably his daughter, wearing an apron, a little bonnet, a little white bonnet, comes over and says, "Good day. Can I get you anything? Would you like perhaps? We do have some tea that's been freshly brewed, and some biscuits left from this morning. But we do have a few other things. What would you like?"
Tea sounds delightful.
He would
Tea,
be
all
lovely.
right. Honey, lemon.
Yes, please.
We do have pumpkin pie also. It's from yesterday, but it's still quite good. Would anyone like some?
I'll do a whiskey and a slice of that pie if you don't mind. Neat on the whiskey.
Absolutely. And so she'll take off. Eventually, she'll bring back tea for everyone and a whiskey for the monsieur, and a few biscuits and a few slices of pie. Eventually, the innkeeper will come by and give you keys and say that he'll see to your luggage being brought to the room. All the rooms are around the back, so with the keys, you should be able to find your way there fairly easily. A couple of the people that were there finish their drinks and leave, mumbling all the way. What do you do?
Well, seems we don't have to worry about our luggage too much after all.
Appreciative, but it was an unknown that needed to be taken care of. So here we are. Do we know if Rhodes is currently in his, like, is it that time of day where he would be at his place?
Yeah, normally you would expect it's like
Okay.
maybe like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something.
Okay, yeah, so not everybody's done with their work or anything. Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know about you, and this just might be the way I am, and I don't know if they're even still available. I would like to look at the bodies as soon as possible, but I have a feeling that I need permission from Mr. Rhodes to do so.
We should probably speak with Mr. Rhodes.
A town like this, duties fall off the bailiff to the judge to the only lawyer they probably have in town.
Oh, that is true.
If he's still left.
Well, I was thinking the same thing on the way over. Sort of a judge, jury, executioner type situation we have here, eh?
And I would hope that he's still in one piece, but
Pet theories, darling. Pet theories.
Oh, shall we?
I'll finish tea first, but
Laura Lee will give a nod, and you can see that she subtly will try and take a biscuit under the table to feed her Irish Wolfhound Dandy. Just sneakily, just slowly puts one under the table so Dandy can have a little bit of a snack.
You realize that Dandy's been staring at the other two dogs who have been pointedly ignoring Dandy.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Drama already.
Exactly. As you exit the Wick and Tallow, if you would, please, we'll do our first roll of the night. If everyone would like to give me, I will give you the choice of either doing logic and vigilance or empathy and observation.
Logic and vigilance. I get +2 to this.
I'm going to do empathy and observation.
And you're looking for at least 1 6. If you have more than 1 6, you can say, you can tell me how many you have. As long as you have 1 6, you will be successful.
None. At all.
None.
I have a
Robin,
one-track mind.
Robin, you're not gonna fucking believe this.
Did you?
3
none?
6s.
3 6s?
I rolled 9 dice. 3 6s was a given.
I called it.
I rolled 7 dice and I got no 6s.
I rolled 6 and
1
got
6
none.
for me.
All right. So, Mary Kate, Laura Lee, as soon as you step outside, you'll feel something that, as you're kind of settling into the place and kind of picking up the vibes and whatnot, you will hear the banjo notes being plucked again, and you will kind of get a bit of an unsettling feeling in your heart. You kind of get the feeling that there's something, a presence of some sort, and there's a familiarity to it that's a little unsettling. Carlisle, with the 666, and this is a house rule of mine in Vaesen, 666 is the devil's luck, meaning that you have something incredible that happens to you. You not only realize as you step out that there is quite likely a supernatural presence in town, one that is fairly remarkable, malignant. You can't always tell if the supernatural presence is malignant or not. In this case, it does kind of have a hint of malignancy to it. And I will say that because you did roll the 666, you will know that there's kind of two things going on. So there are two kind of separate supernatural forces at play that are linked, but also separate.
I think as they're sort of walking over, Carlisle will just stop dead in their tracks, take out their notepad, and write something down, and then we'll make way to catch up to the group. Forgive the stop, but it would appear we're dealing with two forces, particularly malignant. These ones.
I did not say that.
Oh,
I said
sorry.
one was.
I bet.
I said one was.
At least one of them is not very friendly.
I think Althea kind of looks around a little bit as we're walking. What gives you that idea?
Just in the air, isn't it?
Yeah. It's wrong. But familiar.
I'll take your word for it until I experience
appreciate
myself
it.
like this. I so far don't feel anything untoward, but we are here for a reason, so.
I think I was distracted by the tea.
Yes.
You, across the town, walking sometimes on old cobblestone pathways, other times in essentially mud. You find the lawyer's house fairly easily. The house is nestled amidst copse of ancient, weather-beaten trees. Their twisted branches cast elongated shadows on the wooden porch, which creaks under your weight as you step up on it. The exterior of the house is simple, with a pitched roof and a small, welcoming front door adorned with a brass knocker. The windows, framed by worn wooden shutters, seem to peer out onto the dirt path that winds the way through town. The soft light of oil lamps flickers from within, offering a warm glow that contrasts with the encroaching dusk. The only thing breaking the quaintness of the portrait is the sticky, not yet quite dried blood on the door sill and on the door itself, one a trace of bloody handprints.
It would seem our jury has been had.
I would love to make a roll.
Althea, darling, I think this is your territory.
Oh yes, she just got hyper focused super quickly. What would you like me to roll just to like examine this whole bloody scenario? Literally.
Well, you can give me a precision in medicine.
Okay.
If others want, logic and vigilance would work. Also, investigation. I mean, logic and investigation.
Honestly, they're both the same, so we're going
I'll do
with.
investigation.
I'll do the medicine one.
I'll try investigation as well.
Okay,
I'll do
I got at least
investigation.
one. That'll work.
Nope. Nothing.
Nothing.
That
Nope.
tea.
Nothing.
What was in that tea?
I have 3 2s, a 1, and a 4.
I did get 1 6, so the
2
medical side
sixes.
of it. Yeah.
I'm on the investigation side.
2 6s, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Investigation got 2, medicine got 1.
And Lorelei?
0.
Okay. So we'll go with the medicine first. The medicine, the blood seems to have been projected from the inside of the house. It is a couple of hours old.
Okay. And it's not. Does it look like human blood?
Yes. it does.
Okay. Since we are dealing with certain things.
Yeah. Investigation-wise, you'll notice that there is nothing anywhere, like the door is not broken, the handle is not broken, there are no marks, etc., etc. I will say you notice that the bloody handprint, if you were the person outside the door looking at me, the person inside the door, it's someone who kind of grabbed the door as they were maybe falling back or something, which is where the handprint is. So you would expect that there would be something on the other side of the door. They don't seem to. Actually, you got 2 successes. You do notice quite a number of footsteps in the area, and you kind of get the feeling that other people have been here in the past few hours.
Perhaps looking for comfort from their only landing authority.
Is the door closed or open?
It is closed.
Okay, I would like to try and open the door.
You open the door. The first thing you see is a whole lot of blood on the floor, and a young man with his shirt sleeves rolled up, looking kind of pale, a bit drawn, and in a bit of a fright or in a bit of a mess, on his knees, scrubbing blood, trying to scrub blood away with a brush. He looks up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you there. Oh, please be careful. There's blood everywhere. You're going to get some on your shoes. Hold on, I'm coming. And he kind of gets up and puts the brush away in the bucket and wipes his hands as best he can and walks up to you and goes, "May I help you?"
Well, we were trying to come and see Mr. Rhodes, but apparently, that's not going to happen.
Yes. I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, Mr. Rhodes was, well, it appears Mr. Rhodes was killed a few hours ago. Are you friends of his or acquaintances? I don't believe we've met.
No, he sent for help, and we were the ones sent.
Oh, the people from Boston.
Yes.
Oh, yes. He mentioned that you would be coming. Oh, that you would that you would have been here a little earlier. I'm sorry. Do you want to come in, or would you rather talk outside? I know this is probably quite disturbing.
Quite like to go inside. I don't know what the temperance of everybody else is, but a little blood never been much of a problem.
Althea
I think
doesn't
my
have a
wife would.
problem.
Yeah, I think my wife would quite like to come
I'd
inside. Actually,
rather go inside, honestly.
in fact, she would. She is a doctor. If Mr. Rhodes's body.
Oh,
is
Mr.
here.
No, Mr. Rhodes's body is not here. He's been taken away already. He was investigated. The body was looked at by Dr. Bartholomew, the local doctor. And please do come in. I'd like to shut the door if you don't mind. It's been a
Okay.
cold enough day as it
I'm
is.
already in.
Yeah, I'll step in.
Carlisle's inside and looking.
Yeah, follow.
I would have expected Carlisle, as soon as he stepped through the door, to instantly go into just like scan the room, analyze mode.
Once he heard that you were a doctor, not even looking at the body, doesn't matter. You'll figure it out.
Yep.
Looking for Rhodes's notes.
Yep.
And files.
I did put a map up for you on the thing if you want. Upon entering, you find yourselves in a hall. The air carries the faint scent of aged wood and leather-bound books, a comforting aroma that permeates the space. The room is furnished with a sturdy yet slightly worn mahogany furniture. A large oaken desk commands the center of the room, the surface cluttered with legal papers, quill pens, and an inkwell. Bookshelves line the walls filled with tomes on law, history, and philosophy. A crackling fire in the hearth and adds a bit of warmth to the room, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The walls themselves are adorned with framed certificates, evidence of legal prowess and academic achievements. An oil painting of the countryside, likely a local scene, hangs above the mantelpiece. Here, too, however, there is a not inconsiderable amount of blood staining the floor, and it seems to be resisting the efforts of the young man at cleaning them up. As you walk in, he says, "My name's Tell, Joseph Tell. I was Master Rose's clerk. Please, mind the blood, come in. I'm sorry, I don't have anything to offer you. I didn't get around to making tea or anything today.
I think I've had enough tea lately. It's all right.
I think
very
you've
well.
done quite enough, lad. perhaps leave the blood for a professional cleaner or something.
Oh, I
Nobody's going to be using this office.
I know. I just feel like I, I just feel like if I'd been here or I don't know. And he kind of sits down and
Can you
that's
tell us what
terrible.
you do know? What you know of what happened? How was he found? Was anyone nearby? Did anyone hear anything?
No, I came here this morning as I usually do. Slightly after 11 o'clock, I stopped by the Wick for Mr. Rhodes's customary tea and cucumber sandwiches that I was bringing him for his lunch. When I got here, I noticed the blood outside. I immediately opened the door and I found him lying there on his back, right there in the middle of the hallway where you see all the blood there. His head looked like it had been caved in. He his glasses were in his hand, so that's something he does usually when he opens the door. Since he doesn't need them regularly, he will just take them off if he's been reading or something. So I assumed he'd been taken by surprise, perhaps, but no one heard or saw anything, and it was completely over by the time I got here. Dr. Bartholomew and some of the other men from the village came by earlier and then looked at the body and the scene and took the body down to the county office. I'm quite sorry. I don't know anything else. I didn't see anything.
Did he tell you anything about what did he tell you about calling us?
Not much. He had said a few times that he felt there was something. Well, he didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that, and he felt that whatever it was that was going on probably wasn't an affair to do with the devil or anything like that. But I think he had begun changing his tunes in the past few weeks or so, and well, to be honest, I think he perhaps feared for his own life, rightly so, I guess. He said he knew a man in Boston, a poet of all things, who handled such affairs, and that he would write to get professional investigators, he called them, which I guess meant you folks. To be quite honest, much like everybody else in town, I've not known quite what to make of what's been happening. It incredibly strange things, horrific things even, have been going on, and well, it's hard to make any sense of them at all.
Pardon me, son. Are you? I don't really want you to continue cleaning this up at the moment. You seem quite jarred. Are you familiar with Rose's filing system at all?
Yes, I did most of it myself.
Right. So I think that perhaps whilst my medical compatriot here has a look around at the scene of the actual crime, you could help me locate files and notes for me.
Yes, absolutely. Anything you need, any way I can help. Please, come and as for the rest of you, go where you want to, do what you need to. Please, anything you can do to help us will be greatly appreciated.
Of course. Ben, possibly unrelated question.
Yeah.
Is there a jail nearby? Perhaps
We
you have
have
a bailiff and a judge.
we down at the courthouse there are a couple of cells, I do believe.
Do you know if anyone is currently held there?
Old Barney might be. He usually goes on a bender a couple of times a week and then causes some trouble. Last time he was caught urinating in Miss Baker's petunias, and well, he's prone to doing that. I've always thought perhaps there's something going on there, but it's really not my to ask. And so once in a while he'll be thrown in there. So perhaps old Barney. Other than that, no, I don't think so. This is not we don't have things like this happening here. We have old Barney peeing in the petunias. Like that's the extent of that was the extent of the criminal activity in this town. things change, I guess.
With the passing of the judge and the bailiff, and now Mr. Rhodes, who is the ruling law, so to speak, in this town now?
Oh, that is a very good question. Well, there are the aldermen, of course, the innkeeper, some of the other men. Pastor Bell probably will be the one the congregation will look to the most for guidance in this time, although he himself has not been doing too well recently. But yes, I think most likely it would be Pastor Bell. He's probably the one that the people will turn to for guidance at this point. Of course, we'll be sending for help from outside at this point, but at least for the next few days, it will probably be Pastor Bell.
You said Pastor Bell wasn't doing so well recently.
No, I think perhaps he got pneumonia or something. He was rather ill for a while, and he's just been a little out of sorts. His sermons are starting to lack a little bit of the fire that he used to have, and he seems like a man who's been dealing with a little bit of a health crisis, perhaps. But I'm sure he'll bounce back. He's young and fairly stout.
When did that start? Did it start around the same time as the?
Oh no, not
Black
at all.
Church,
It's only been going on for perhaps the last 2 weeks or so. The Black Church has been appearing for months now.
Okay.
When did the last murder take place? The first, sorry, the bailiff.
Yes. Allow the game master to check his notes.
Gosh, so many villain points. You all want us to get hurt.
What are villain point? I don't even know what a villain point is.
So on Lost Caravan, you can redeem 3,000 spirits. Those are channel points for us to redeem a villain point, and you can use Bleak. You could use that villain point to be mean to us.
We also have also have 2 hero points, which we could, depending on how you would like us to use those, we can use those for our advantage.
Yeah,
I think the audience wants the devil to win here.
The audience does want the devil to win. This is true.
I kind of want the devil to win, to be honest with you guys.
Not gonna lie, the devil's probably gonna win.
Yeah, we're all gonna.
Which doesn't mean you're gonna lose.
We're gonna fall prey to it somehow. It's gonna happen.
How do you play your cards? So we are at the end of October. You'll tell will be. We'll see. The first to die was Byron Stoat, the bailiff of the town. That was at the end of August. Then Judge Fordyce in September, and last night, Lawyer Rhodes.
End of September?
Yes.
Was it the end of August?
Yes.
Same day?
No, but very close. Like within a day or two, perhaps, like in the last 3 or 4 days of the month.
Well,
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look very seriously at the doctor and say, "We need to see how they were killed."
Oh, very much so. Whatever notes you would like from the office as soon as possible, while we take a look here, and then we are making a beeline over to where Mr. Rhodes' body is.
So let's do this then. Let's go around and tell me, where you're going and what approach you're taking investigating. So you can go in the house, you can go into the rooms, you can look at the blood, you can look at the office stuff, you can go outside, you can do sort of whatever you want. So let's go around. Jeet, I know you're going to be heading for the desk and the filing stuff.
Yeah. So Carlisle's going to lead the young lad to the main work area. If you could, and forgive if this is a bit out of nowhere, I need the notes that he was keeping on asking us to come, as well as any previous cases in which he, the judge, and the bailiff were all involved that were particularly controversial for the town.
Okay. So we'll get you that. We'll come back. I just want to see where everyone is going. And so, Laura Lee, what will Laura Lee be doing?
If we're all staying in the house right now,
you can go outside also. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I guess I'd like to bring Dandy in and have have him help me sniff out, basically, see if Dandy can sense things that I cannot. Basically, just kind of bring him through the room, see if there's anything weird that Dandy could pick up on. Just like once around the house, once inside the house, just kind of go on a little investigation jaunt.
Okay. Excellent. What about the good doctor?
I'm basically having a Dexter moment where I'm looking at the blood spatter pattern and trying to figure out, like, if I can determine what weapon cleaved his skull in by the blood spatter without seeing the body yet. Just trying to get as much information from the amount of blood, because that's the other question I was going to have. Is it just in the foyer, or did the blood go all the way back to the office?
Yeah, no, it's in the hall.
The
I
hall.
don't know if you're looking at the map,
Yeah,
but you
I
can see
did.
where the blade.
Just
Yeah, so it goes
make-
to about, like maybe 10 feet inside the house.
Okay.
10,
But yeah,
12 feet inside the house.
I'm having
The
a
hall.
Dexter moment and basically just like analyzing the blood spatter and the
No problem.
landing and the amount. So that's my goal.
And Juliana.
I would like to use medium and see if I can't contact the dead here.
Okay, so we'll save that one for last because that one's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
I will say the doctor can make a medicine roll. Carlisle can make an investigation roll, and we will say that Lauralee can give me. So your companion, your dog, gives you a bonus to your vigilance. Investigation, something else, close combat, right? Okay, so go with the investigation. So go logic and investigation plus the bonus from. Is it all the time, or is it once per scene or something like that?
For Bloodhound or
For your hunting dog.
hunting dog, it just says use for vigilance, close combat, and investigation.
Then knock yourself out.
Sounds like a constant. Yeah.
One success.
Okay. So the way it works in Vaesen is you don't really roll to see if you find something. As long as you tell me that you're going somewhere where there is a clue, you find it, your roll is merely to see if you get more out of it. Okay? So we will start with Lauralee. I'm sorry, what is your pooch's name?
Dandy.
Dandy. Very nice. Lauralee and it. So you go around the house, sniffing around, kind of getting a feel for it. You don't pick up anything that kind of connects to things you felt earlier in the day or anything like that. But as you're coming back down and kind of sniffing around, maybe going on porch and stuff, the dog, Dandy, does seem to kind of perk up and smell something. And Dandy, is Dandy a he or a she?
He's a he. He's a large Irish wolfhound.
And he's named Dan. That's even better. So as a large Irish wolfhound, now he's smelling something. He's pulling, and he's almost pulling you off your feet. And he looks like he wants to go outside and around the back of, around the house, kind of thing. So I don't know if you're going to go or not.
Yeah, I just go. I follow Dandy wherever. Like Dandy knows best. I'm just the human that helps at this point.
So you will see some of you, Lauralee and Danny, just kind of take off outside, kind of heading away from the house. Doctor, how many successes did you get?
I got one.
Okay, so one's good enough. So what you can kind of figure from what you see is just that he went to open the door. He opened it. As soon as he opened the door, something hit him in the head. It was a blow that came from a little lower than him. You would say, like, it wasn't like a coming down kind of blow. It was maybe like a going up to a certain degree. Okay. The blood does indicate that it was probably an arterial tear because of the color of the blood and the spray pattern and everything. And so the blow probably took him like on the side of the face rather than, kind of on the head. So it wasn't aimed super well, but it was pretty powerful blow. And he fell on his back right away. You are certain dead within seconds of hitting the ground. You detect that there was a secondary blow that was given while he was on the ground, this one to the forehead probably. You find bits and pieces of skull that look kind of like, the forehead of skull, things of that nature. It's difficult to tell more at this point without seeing the body itself, but you would say that it was done with some sort of large, blunt thing. And what is... okay, no, so that's not gonna matter. Don't worry about it. Like, it's not at all like you didn't find something. I was just wondering if something would have left us interest, but I don't think it would. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
So yeah, so you get that much. I would also say that it's pretty clear that there probably wasn't more than one attacker, since the doorway and the hallway are pretty narrow, and the blows seem to have been done by the same instrument.
With the amount of blood that was, like, from where he fell back, there was a lot of blood in there.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of blood from what I would assume is the first blow, do I feel like the second blow to the head was more of an aggressive and like unnecessary, or that it was like, would there have been enough blood just from the throat hit?
You think there would have been enough blood from the throat hit? It's hard to tell what motivated the second one. You think that someone without medical knowledge might have thought it wasn't enough.
Got it.
But the idea of it being just a rage thing, also
possible.
Okay. Seeing the second wound, perhaps, and seeing how much force was applied to it, might give you a better...
I will get more info once I get to the body.
That's right. Carlisle, you're in the office. So he takes you, the first desk in the first room is his desk, the clerk's desk. Takes you into the room. It's nice, very, opulent for the type of town this is. Office with some nice chairs, a big fireplace, which is not burning right now, and very messy papers all over the place. I will say you don't feel that it looks like someone went through it. It just feels like he's a messy guy. So the clerk was probably coming in behind him, picking up. You're thinking that's probably what he would have done. He would have come in here at 11, given the judge's lunch, gone in the back, sorted everything out, come back out. The judge would have made a mess again. At the end of the day, would have fixed everything. You kind of get the feeling that that's... So you'll go through a whole bunch of papers, okay? And you had 2 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you'll go through a whole bunch of them. Most of the paperwork is small town stuff. Really, just nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that really stands out. The things you find that maybe tweak a little bit your curiosity, when you're looking for things that connect the 3 murder victims, for example. Every single crime in town connects the 3 murder victims. He's the only lawyer. She was the only judge. He's the only bailiff. Literally every crime, their signature appears on all the paperwork. None of the crimes are of the type that you'd think would be very, oh my God, like... So there's nothing on that angle that really stands out. The one thing that does kind of come out, that kind of stands out a little bit, you find copies of deeds, several hectares of land that were gifted by one Ezekiel Miller to the 3 victims. So each of them had received from Ezekiel Miller in the last year a large parcel of land in the area. All of it dated December 1 last year, in fact. You will find of note in the desk, kind of at the back of a desk, kind of like something that's kind of like been thrown away to be forgotten, sort of thing. A handwritten note that is unsigned. It says when you read it, she was in the square causing a stir again last night. If she cannot be made to understand the value of circumspection, perhaps she might learn the cost of peddling lies. I have an idea, but will likely need your persuasiveness to sell it. Meet me at the church tonight after last bells. Seems a little bit old. Not old like years, but certainly not written in the past few weeks or anything like that.
If I compare the note's handwriting to any of the signatures on the documents, does it match up with any of the 3 victims?
Go ahead and give me a learning roll.
I know how to learn.
Okay, come on, Mr. Smart.
Don't worry,
Pants,
Mira, I'm
you
coming
got
for
it.
you in a moment.
You're good. I can be patient.
That's another 2. I was hoping for 3, but the dice hate me.
Another 2
Better
is
than
fine.
I am.
You are pretty sure it is the bailiff's handwriting.
It's written this note about a woman. Boy, come here.
Yes, I'm sorry. He's been making tea, and I was just making some tea for everybody. I think I need a little something. Yes, what can I help you with?
2 questions for you. First, this fellow who's deeded all this land to your compatriots.
Ah,
Was
yes.
he in a particular spot of trouble, or a case that you perhaps got one glimpse of that went away, or?
No, it's a sad, tragic story, really. There are 2 brothers, Ezekiel and Moses. Moses was always a very generous man, but his brother Ezekiel was always a bit of a drunken brute. Moses died last year, and it had a deep impact on Ezekiel. He's kind of become a bit of a shut-in since then. I think he probably just didn't want to have to deal with the land anymore. It was way too much for a man alone to do, and with Moses gone, and with him not really being into taking care of the workers and whatnot, a lot of that land was just kind of going unused. So I figure probably he was either talked into it or just decided to do it on his own, but he gifted them out.
Are you interested in doing this kind of work full time when you're older? Law work?
Well, my parents are interested in me doing this work full time when I'm older.
What
Yes.
are you?
I don't think I've ever been asked that question.
Well, I need to know before I give you any advice. I'm not wasting my words on someone who doesn't want to do this.
Oh, well, no, yes, I'm due to pass the bar next summer. Yes, absolutely.
Nothing is ever as it seems. Alright? If you see something that is suspect, and you suspect something, your gut instinct is typically correct. That is what I always find. Now, this note from the bailiff in your boss's desk.
But this didn't seem suspect to me. Very well. Yes. Thank you. In any case, thank you. Yes. This. Oh, yes. I've never seen this before. What is this?
Do you recall a woman particularly distressed or unkempt in the square any time in the last year or so?
Give me a empathy and manipulation roll.
Jeet getting all those rolls tonight? What?
What?
That's just going to be 1-6.
Okay, well, unfortunately for you, it's going to be opposed. So we'll see what happens.
Just
Ooh,
one. Just
First
one.
opposed roll?
Rude. I'm going to use my
no.
advantage.
Are you using your advantage?
Well, we've got hero points too. You could use a hero point.
I'll use the hero point.
Okay.
To give myself. That's a second 6.
Okay.
Fight me,
Um,
child.
I'll say. No, it doesn't bring anything to mind. And with your role, you get the feeling that he's not being completely honest. Doesn't
Lying
really
doesn't-
bring anything to mind.
Lying doesn't become you, son. It doesn't become a lawyer.
I'm not
either.
lying. What are you
Actually, no,
just
wait.
stomping in here, accusing me of lies?
Another word of advice. If you're lying and you get called out for lying, the course of action is not to get defensive, okay? You want to stay calm, rash, and stick with your story.
You seem to know a lot about lying.
I lie a lot.
So your advice could be all lies.
No. Not my advice, no. In
You
earnest.
could be lying right now.
I'm trying to help you do your job better, son.
You see, if you tell me you're lying a lot, then it doesn't inspire any confidence in me.
What do you know?
The only thing I can think of was Abigail Brown. Last winter, she started having problems, I guess. Kind of a bit paranoid, perhaps. Seeing things, talking off turn. But look, we don't really talk about Abigail because she was a very sinful woman.
Was she arrested?
No, she was a devil worshipper.
What happens to devil worshippers in this town?
Well, I don't know. It's not like we have a ton of them.
So a woman just up and disappears one day, none of you question it because she's a devil worshipper?
No, she didn't disappear. She died in the spring.
Of?
Well, to be quite honest, I was never quite sure what she died of. I'm sure it's listed in the paperwork somewhere. Here, right here. And he shows you a piece of paper that's got a bunch of information about all the affidavits about all the yearly deaths so far. There were a few in the winter, mostly fever, a case of pneumonia. Abigail Brown's was ruled an accidental death in April. And then, of course, Stout and Judge Fordyce. These were signed by the bailiff and Judge Fordyce until their deaths and by Rhodes after.
You have been an immense help.
I have? Are you lying?
No.
I find it impossible to tell with you.
You'll get the hang of it. It's a learned skill, alright?
Oh, right.
I love it.
Fine.
I love it so much.
Whilst that is going on, and in a moment here, I'll copy all that over into notes for you. Here. You want a little medium session, did you?
I do.
Does Juliana tell Althea that she's about to do it, or
Yes.
not? Okay, cool. Because
She'll warn Althea.
I have a feeling that it won't take Althea very long to analyze the blood, so she's going to help Juliana set up whatever she needs as best as she can.
How does the doctor, a woman of science, feel about her wife's,
In
culpability and such?
in the line of secondary work that we do, things of this nature can glean answers. She's still a little she's skeptical, but if the needle was here, it's a tiny bit further after seeing Juliana do her work. And I don't know, it might just be a random gust of wind, but sometimes she finds out things that nobody else has found out.
Okay. So how do you set up for this? Describe for me, Mir, how you set up for this.
So probably it involves I'm not going to set up in the center of where he died because then I would be sitting in blood, and that would be impolite. People generally frown on being covered in blood. So I'll set up slightly to the side, but in full view of the hallway and where he died. And will probably will pull out my crystal ball as a focus. It's not on my sheet, but I'm gonna claim a stick of chalk
No problem.
to draw a small circle to kind of again focus this little seance.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sit there and focus on my crystal ball as kind of a main focus to then bring it out and call forward this.
So
Hopefully call forward the ghost of Royal
Rhodes, that's what you're trying to do? Okay, roll your empathy and observation.
All right.
I think Althea just lights candles around
Yeah.
Juliana.
So I'll say that you can basically be helping her, so you'll get an extra die.
Yeah. I would love to help
Oh,
her.
an extra die. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I may not fully believe
Nope.
in it, but it's what she does. So she
You know,
supports her wife.
you're a good spouse, you know. You support your spouse even when they're
I
like,
tried.
you know.
I did get 2 6s otherwise.
Okay, you start your seance. You reach out, try to communicate. Of course, Rhodes's presence is very strong here. He was just slain here not too long ago. As always, when you do it on the site of a fresh, an area where there's a fresh conflict recently, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. It's kind of like it creates static or white noise that makes it kind of hard to kind of really reach out. You have to really focus. But with 2 successes, you manage to pierce through, and as always, you kind of feel this weird sense at first of kind of like falling into this void of nothingness. And then, like that feeling you get, like, I don't know if you've ever been on a roller coaster, but when it drops down and that thing, so you get that kind of feeling, and then you take a deep breath, and then you feel a presence approach you. Yeah, who is this?
This is Vaesen from Boston. Is this Royal Roads?
Oh yes, the devil! The devil is here! The devil is here! Suddenly, you go back, you fall, you're still falling again, your stomach is rising up again in your throat. It's completely dark. You see nothing. You're in a forest. You see a little glowing ball of light. You're stepping through the trees, following this ball of light. You're lost. You don't know where you are, how you got here. You hear a faint echo somewhere far away. The devil is here. The devil is here. You hear little notes of banjo music playing off in the distance. You try maybe to follow it, to go in that direction, but the little light won't let you. It keeps spinning around you. It keeps guiding you forward. You move. Eventually, you arrive into a little clearing. You see, arriving from the other side, Loreley. Loreley, you are walking, following Dandy. Dandy gets a little bit more agitated, starts pulling on the leash. You're following Dandy. All of a sudden you feel like there's a presence, like there's something near you. You stop, you look around, you get your hunter's senses kind of on alert. You don't see anything. You get pulled again by Dandy. You, Mirror, see you see Loreley stop and kind of look around and look kind of in your direction for a moment. You try to wave to her, to talk to her, but she doesn't hear you. She doesn't even see you. And it's kind of like you're floating and you're flying, like you get like a bird's eye view as you're coming in behind her, and she gets pulled. And you see her kind of break through this little copse of trees. You see beyond her a woman. This woman is dressed in simple garb. You see an altar, both of you. You see the same thing, Loreley, as you come through the trees. You see up ahead of you a woman. There's an altar. There are stones with runes marked around them. On the altar is the skull of a ram that has been decorated and painted by hand. You can see a knife on the altar. You can see a little bit of blood. You get the sense that there's something hidden here. Mir, you see someone coming up behind Laura Lee. There's a strange figure dressed in a red hood coming up behind her. It's got ram's horns that are sticking out from the cloak. It's got cloven hooves. It's walking up behind Laura Lee. You scream at her. You're like, Laura Lee, and she's not hearing. She's not seeing you. Laura Lee, you hear something from behind you. A branch snaps. You look up. The woman looks in your direction, bolts off. You turn around just as something hits you right in the face. Everything goes black. Mir, you get thrown back. You hit the ground. Your ball hits the ground and shatters.
Althea is rushing to Juliana at this point.
Lorelai has been attacked. We need to go.
What?
Lorelai has been attacked in the woods. We need to go.
Okay.
She needs our help.
Juliana will just yell down the hallway. Carlisle! Time to move!
Oh, jolly good. Make the man with the cane run.
Lorelai's been attacked. Let's go.
Oh, sorry for joking.
I'm following Juliana because I'm assuming Juliana knows where to go at this point.
I saw Lorelai go outside and start going in one direction around the house, yeah.
Yeah. As you go back out, you kind of see almost kind of like a ghostly light for a little bit that's kind of guiding you, and then it kind of disappears. But you keep moving into the copse of the trees. Carla kind of trying to keep pace behind the two of you as you're rushing. You got a pounding headache. It's just like hammering in your head. You arrive and you see Lorelai on her back. Her hound is nowhere near her. She's lying down. She has blood trickling down her face. She looks like she took a pretty heavy hit. I am absolutely just giving you the wounds, Lorelai. Just roll. She's just lying there, unmoving, in the middle of a field near some trees. What do you do?
Althea runs right over. Doesn't even notice that Dandy isn't around. Just blood. There's blood. Althea's there. Like
Juliana knows that Althea has that taken care of, so she's going to be looking around to see to see if she can see this red-hooded devil figure. This is the altar there? Is that woman anywhere nearby? Where's Dandy? Like trying to get a sense of the rest of the scene.
Carla?
Just having a look around. You wouldn't attack someone out here if there wasn't something important that you were trying to hide. So, Carla.
Well, and while she's looking, she is telling everyone there, like, I saw her attack. She was attacked by someone in a red hood with a ram's skull and hooves, and there was a woman and an altar. Is the altar there? Do I see the altar?
All right, so take it one thing at a time. So you arrive, doctor, go ahead, and you're going to be trying to bring her back from a broken condition, so go ahead and give me your medicine check. You can add anything from your skills and whatnot that you want to add.
All 4 of her physicals got filled from that hit. Oh my god. Okay. So the item you gave me works per scene. Is this considered a scene? And then when we move to a different
so this a scene basically like a major location. So right, you would have had this would be the 3rd scene. You were in the village, then you were in the lawyer's house, now you're in this particular scene.
Okay, then I'm gonna first thing I'm gonna use the Ring of Asclepius to bring 2 physical conditions back.
Okay.
Because I can do that per scene. So that lessens it down to 2, which takes away the broken status. Which then you get to pick which 2 you want to keep, I think, at this point. Because you got options. But basically I am going into because I have Army Doctor.
Well, before choosing another one, you should make your medicine roll because you might be able to heal more than just the 2.
That's true. That is true. Okay, so that is going to be precision medicine. All right.
Now, because I didn't make you any rolls, I'm not going to give you a critical injury. Usually when you're broken, you have to get a critical injury, but since we just narrowed it, I'm not going to make you roll for a critical injury, okay?
Okay. I
Sounds
did
good.
get 1 success on that roll.
Okay, so you normally, each extra success, character must say inspiration. Each extra success heals an additional, so you get 2, so another 1, so you get 3. So you get 3 of your physical conditions are healed, okay? So you'll only have 1 left. After she kind of tends your wounds, whatnot, she'll put like smelling salts or something, and you kind of come to, right? But we'll deal with something else for a moment, but then we'll deal with you sort of coming back. Give me investigation checks, both of the other two, Mir and JT.
I'm gonna use my once per scene to give myself an advantage on this.
Okay.
Nope.
Wow. 13d6, and all I got was 1 lousy 6.
Mir, use a hero point. We have 2.
Here, what's
Oh, okay. I mean,
a hero point, man?
my dice haven't liked me at all this whole time.
I don't care.
I have
Maybe
literally.
you're
These are
spending
the only
resources.
dice I have left that are not in jail.
Oh my gosh.
I would like
throw
to
you
point
all,
out.
but-
I would like to point out in chat that Daniela has given a quote from The Witch, which was absolutely one of the major influences on this scenario. So good on you. And hey, Akian, hi, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just looking at chat for the first time.
I'm just gonna.
You've got a few villain points.
Serious?
Yeah, just a few.
Seriously?
Mir, what's going on? Do you need to put your dice in the moonlight?
Jeez,
do you need,
no,
do you need to
put 'em in
charge
the
your dice?
freezer. Put them in the freezer. Oh my gosh.
Are you sure you're not rolling D4s instead of D6s?
Right?
You would think, right?
Let me just like.
They're
This.
joke D6s. They have 6 sides, but they only go up to 4.
These are all the dice that are in jail now. That's all of my d6s.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You're gonna need a bigger jail.
all right.
We're just gonna start cycling through them again.
So did anyone? You can push a roll. You know you can push a roll at the cost of a condition. You can push a roll and take a condition if you want.
I mean,
Come on.
did Carlisle succeed?
I got 1.
I mean, why not? It's a one shot. Let's try it.
Yeah.
You can always, you know, because right now you're going to take a mental condition. You can always spend some time with your memento to heal it. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm
So-
going to take frightened because I think that makes the most sense in this situation.
Okay, and you did roll a hero point, right? So you can add that to your reroll also.
Okay. And that's an extra die, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you take
success.
one mental condition of your choice.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe
going to
frightened.
take kleptomaniac. No, that's not what we're talking about.
Oh.
All right. You investigate the area around here. The first thing you notice, and I'm talking to Mir now, I'll deal with JT in a second. One, you do get a feeling that there was something supernatural around. There was a supernatural force. However, you see the tracks coming up to Lorelei, and they're regular human feet in boots. They're not cloven hooves. JT, as you're kind of scoping around and that, you will cross into a little area. I've put a map up on Albert. That is where the altar is. I will point out something that Mir will realize later. From where you were in your vision, you should not have been able to see, because you were kind of behind Lorelei and she was just into the tree, so she saw inside to where the altar is.
Mm-hmm.
But you would have had the trees blocking you if you would have physically been where you were, where your point of view was in that moment. So you'll notice that later also. When you arrive there, JT, you will kind of look around. You will with your success, get the sense that no one's been here in a while. And that you've lost your voice.
You're muted, Bo.
Now, when you say a while, we talking like a few
There
hours?
certainly doesn't seem like there was anyone here, in the last 15 minutes or whatever, like
Okay.
when all this was happening. But certainly in the last few days.
Peculiar indeed.
As you ruminate on all of that, Arlie, you come to massive headache, just this pounding in your skull. You remember seeing the woman, a young woman with black hair, at the altar. She turned around and saw you. You don't get the feeling she saw what was coming up behind you. Like she clearly looked at you and then took off. And then you turned around and you literally saw what looked like the devil. Someone that was behind you wearing a red cloak with a coat, a goat's head with like the snout and everything and the horns. And then something just hit you almost as if like as a gun he headbutted you or something, but something like smashed you right in the face and knocked you right out.
I just hold it and just say, there are two people, or at least one person in a Vaesen, and where's Dandy?
We don't know. He wasn't here when we got here, and she kind of Althea helps you sit up. And there wasn't anybody else here when we got here. So you may want to try calling for your dog.
I'll use the whistle that I have that he's trained to come back for.
Oh no.
I left a message for you give up your whistle, you blow it a few times. You don't hear anything, and Dandy doesn't return.
Okay. We really need to figure out what the hell's going on here.
Althea is going to hold a hand out as she's standing to pull you from sitting to full standing.
She takes it.
Juliana's going to be coming around to both, again, also help you stand up, but also to check out these footprints that she sees that were coming up to you.
As you all kind of gather, by the way, you hear very distantly, very far away, like banjo notes playing.
That keeps happening, right? I'm not hearing things.
Yeah, they're a friend. Somewhat of a friend.
I'm going to chalk that up to head trauma, but fine.
Lorelai, what did you see?
Dandy got the scent. We were running. I thought I heard or saw something pause, but he kept going. Made it to the open of the clearing, and there was a woman doing something at the altar. Black hair. Was she wearing white?
No, she was not. She's wearing like a very simple shift of, it looked like purple, black, blues, kind of, like a very simple village woman's attire.
I described the attire, and then I turned around and goat guy with the cloak was there, and I got hit.
That's what I saw as well. All right. But, and I'm gonna point down at the footprints.
Well, Vaesen, they only want to be shown when they want to. I'm sure they could mimic something like this, or we've got someone with a passenger. I'm not sure.
Either are possible. I saw it too. I saw what you saw. I was behind you.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna go see about checking out that altar. I want to get a look at this altar, see if we can't figure out any clues from it. Maybe track the woman that ran.
And what are Althea and Lorelei going to do in this?
I mean, Lorelei's better at tracking and footprints and basically trying to find this black-haired woman would be more her bailiwick than mine. I'll help where I can, like if I have to hold a lantern or something, but that's more Lorelei's bailiwick, I think.
Okay, it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, maybe. So this late, in October, you still get a few hours of daylight. So you're feeling all right. You're kind of far now from the village, like you're out in the woods a little bit. So you'll all kind of step into the clearing, I guess, is what I wanted to know. You're all going into the area where Mira, as you walk in, Althea and Laura are coming up behind you, and you feel Althea's hand tap your shoulder.
Oh, turn around. What?
When you turn around, you see this young woman there, blonde, her hair stringy, hanging down. She is naked. She has multiple wounds, contusions, cuts all over her body. Her face is completely pummeled, blood everywhere. And she says, "Help!" Althea, you just notice, you
She
just
just
notice
turns
her turn around, look at you with the.
Oh, wow. So, seeing the shock on her face, I would rush forward. Do I go through this apparition?
You don't see anything.
Okay, but do
But I see her?
Juliana see me
Just-
go through an
Yeah,
apparition?
in a moment, like this girl is in your face and she says, "Help!" And a moment later, it's Althea who's
True.
there.
What?
Give me a fear check, Althea. Not
Yeah.
Althea, sorry. Juliana. So
Juliana?
you're going to roll either your logic or your empathy, your choice, but you don't get to add a skill. It's just a straight
Okay.
logic.
I do get to add +1 because of brave, but that mostly just cancels out my frightened condition. So
Yeah.
Pretty
it's true.
frightened.
Come on. Yay!
One success. You feel this fear just grip you as you see the face, and it like claws right inside of you and grabs hold. But a second later, you see your wife's face, and
Yeah,
you just realize that whatever is happening, whatever this was, like she's there. So things
Althea-
are going to be okay, kind of thing.
Althea cups your face with her hands. What, sweetheart? Are you fine?
I think I just saw a ghost.
Well, considering what just happened 5 minutes ago where your crystal completely shattered, anything could happen at this point.
Was how old did she look?
Early 20s.
Was a young woman, blonde, stringy hair just hanging down, naked and covered in injuries, covered in wounds, like she had been beaten. She asked for help.
We don't know what the bailiff and the judge look like, do we?
Well, and I assume Carlisle hasn't shared the information about Abigail.
No, I don't think there was
Hasn't
time.
gotten a chance yet.
They don't usually share unless they're specifically pointedly asked.
Of course. Of course.
I think Laura Lee will go up to Carlisle, wherever they are, and say, "You find something worth getting hit in the head for?"
Did I find something worth getting hit in the head for?
I would say it's up to you.
Oh, in the
In the
clearing, you mean?
old yeah.
So well, you found what I've told you. So there's, as I described it earlier, there's a bit of an altar. There's a ram's head that has been hand painted. There are several bowls of different herbs that have been burned, things like that. There's a fire pit. There are bottles with various little liquids in it. There's some dried blood on the wood of the altar, and there's like a crown of wood kind of around it. And that's really sort of what you have there.
No, I'm afraid not yet. I haven't been able to discern exactly who or what this area's for. The runes are tossing me a bit, I think. But nobody's been here for some time, maybe even a few days if I had a way to guess.
We just saw someone here. But after what just happened,
Maybe an echo?
possibly. Can I go take a look at the runes as the occultist and see if I recognize any of it?
Yeah. So tell me, what do you all want to do? So you have this place. Do you want to? So one of you also got something earlier. Also in the description that I gave. And I kind of don't want to hammer on it too much, but someone was
Yeah.
told they felt there was something. So tell me what skill you want to use and where you want to look.
Well, first I would mention, particularly to Lorelei, but also just kind of the group in general, that when I saw this, I was behind where Lorelei was standing. I
Okay.
shouldn't have been able to see this altar and that woman, but I did.
Well, your shtick is the supernatural. Perhaps it's such that as an extra. How do I put this? You're able to see things the way that supernatural things see them when you're in that state. No, would that not be the case?
Sometimes, but not always. I did
Well-
also, before I was in the woods and found Lorelei, I did connect with Mr. Rhodes. He was not calm. He was very concerned and said the devil was here, and then I fell into the woods and found Lorelei and followed her here. So it's not necessarily unusual for me in that instance to see something I shouldn't have, but it's still odd.
Noted. I suppose we can keep that in mind moving forward if we ever find an answer for that. But satisfactory explanations are hard to come by with Vaesen.
Yes. And as for skills I'm using, I'm probably going to be using observation to try to.
You're checking out the runes, right?
Yeah, I want to look at the runes. I want to look at this altar, see if I can't recognize anything here as an
All right.
occultist.
So that would be learning. So when you're trying to
Okay.
learn something, you discover
Okay.
something. You use learning usually.
All
So
right.
you make a learning. What are the rest of you doing?
Because of what just happened, Althea is hovering a little closer to Juliana than everybody else, even though, yes, Lorelei took a blow to the head. I patched you up. You are no longer my problem. I am latched to my wife. I'm sorry. So, what's your logic learning roll, Mir?
Usually it's a 4. Right now it's a 3 because of my condition.
Cool. I was going to assist, but I have a bigger dice pool than you on that. If we want to flip-flop the rolls on that, if we're
I would
allowed.
say that you're probably still better to go. I mean, if you're looking at the runes.
I'm with her, so.
All right. So, but I would say you can help her. So you would lend a die to her.
Okay, I can do that.
All right.
Okay. What is Lorelei and and Carla? What are they doing?
I think that Lorelei is going to I think that she's gonna look around where the boot prints were and try and study those. See if she can get any more information from her expertise. Because tracking anything that has to do with the wilderness, that is where she's home. So
Perfect.
some sort of semblance of normal in this would be wonderful.
Excellent. And Carla.
I think Carlisle is sort of moving the perimeter of the clearing and is looking for fresher prints and tracks, looking for any indication of who might have been here in the last few days, if anybody.
Okay. And I will say also, Robin, make me an observation test also, just while you're helping out.
God, it's shit-tastic, but we'll see.
Shit-tastic.
Oh yeah, no. My whole tree for me is the least numbered. It's horrible. That's Juliana's job, not mine. But I did get a success. Hey, we'll go with it.
Oh,
Yay!
That's good. I rolled shit. I didn't.
So,
nothing above a 3.
No!
right. So you're checking out the rocks. There are runes inscribed on it. One thing you'll be able to tell is they're old and they were inscribed a long time ago over a different period. And you can kind of tell that there's like different types of things. Like it's not like just oh, hey, they're all Viking runes or something like that. They're all like kind of all over the place, and you can't really make heads or tails out of them.
Mm-hmm.
While Mir's doing this, Robin, you're helping out, but then you kind of spot something out of the corner of your eye. You see like a little mound of dirt behind one of the stones. That's clearly not the same color as the rest of the ground, like something was maybe buried there or something like that.
What check was it for the boot tracks?
It's vigilance. Robin, do you do anything with that information, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once Juliana is done trying to analyze things, and if Carlisle is not busy still staring at either papers or footprints, I will grab both of them and go, that looks fresh. I could be wrong.
hello.
It doesn't look
for
super
boot
fresh.
tracks.
It's just clearly different. Sorry, America. I'll hit you in a
okay.
second.
Oh,
So
I
it
was
doesn't look super fresh. Sorry.
It looks different. Just looks different.
Yeah.
And I will rephrase to, that's out of place.
You guys go and check that out. All right, Mary Kate, you got how many successes?
Yeah, I got 2 successes. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It happens. Yeah, so you will be able to see where the tracks kind of came up behind Juliana, and they kind of come out from under the brush not too far away. They're clearly boots, right? Here's the question: do you follow the tracks back?
Where are they headed?
They're heading kind of back towards the village, but away from your friends here.
I guess I'm going to say to the group and say, these tracks are headed back to the village. Normally I'd say I'd go check it out, but seeing as to what happened last time,
We probably shouldn't ever be alone.
So what I'm hearing is we split into teams.
Possibly. I mean,
Well,
we
so
can.
you don't have to split. You could just wait and all go together after you've investigated everything, basically. So, so you hang back. Meanwhile, the lot of you go and check out that thing. It is clearly a mound. Now, clearly not big enough to be a burial mound for a human being, let's say. But there's clearly something that's been buried here. No one's. There wasn't enough high success to kind of get a really clear idea of when, but certainly not an extremely long time ago, but certainly not, um, in the past season or so. So it's been a little bit longer than that. Like grass has started to regrow a little bit on the mountain and things of that nature.
Is there any kind of like headstone or marker or anything like that?
No,
Hmm.
clearly man-made.
Only one way to find out what's on there, I suppose.
I'm gonna let you do that.
Happily, Carlisle will start digging.
You start digging. It doesn't take very, very long for you to find bones.
Hmm.
You dig and dig and dig, and eventually you uncover the bones of what seems to be an animal, quadruped, about the size of a dog but longer legged, clearly missing a skull.
Perhaps a ram skeleton?
I would say the doctor could make a medical check, perhaps.
Oh yeah, would love to.
Sorry, I'm afraid post-mortem forensics is out of my purview.
Well, one must do all of it.
I'm just sticking close to my wife.
I got one success.
Yeah, you see the hooves, you see, it looks like it would probably be that.
Do I think that it's the same ram that the skull on the altar is from?
Looks about right size.
I will point back over my shoulder. Skull's over there on the altar. So they obviously didn't use. If they used all of the animal, they didn't need the rest of the bones.
Or this was part of some ritual. And burying it was part of it.
Do give me, let's say, we'll do a group thing. So whoever wants to roll a can, and you'll get
Not me.
3 extra dice from everybody else
Yeah,
helping.
not you.
But I will say, and we'll take a break here in a moment, but go ahead and give me a learning check.
Well, I could do that easy peasy.
I say I have 6 in that.
6 total.
Yeah, 6 total.
Uh,
Is yours 10? Is that your insane pool?
No, I'm sitting on 9.
Still better than me.
Plus 3 extra die from people helping.
Yeah.
Puts me to
Mhm.
12. Get those
I'm
triple
not-
sixes, Jeet. Come on.
Sorry.
Don't roll like me.
It's
No
not triple
pressure.
sixes.
Is it quadruple? Yeah!
All right. You have 0 doubt that the animal was buried with love and care. You have 0 doubt that the head was severed before the animal was killed. See if there's anything else I could tell you. There was, beyond the head severing, there was another wound to the animal before, like in the neck area. So you see like the scrape of a knife maybe against the bone or something. And I'll tell you what, you got 4 successes, so I'll let you kind of keep the mystique of this great roll going, and at some point I'll give you an extra little thing for it. Yeah.
With that roll, would he be able to notice if that secondary wound was used for Harspecs right as they killed the animal?
No, I would say that it is pretty clear to you that that wound killed the animal, and it was sometime later that the head was removed. And that first wound was not in any way, shape, or form a precise hit or anything. It was done like, you know, kind of like savagely in the throat or something. And just before we break, one more little thing. As you're kind of gathering up these notions, these ideas that you have, and getting ready to step out to follow the tracks back, you are, of course, sticking close to your wife. Juliana and Althea, you're sticking close to each other. And as the other two, as the lot of you leave the little encampment, you hear in the distance a bell tolling. And as you step out of this little copse where the stone is, you realize darkness has fallen. Like hours have gone by. And that is strange. And as you kind of look at each other to go, what the hell? None of you see this except Althea. When you turn and look at your wife for a moment, she looked as if her skin was kind of glassine and bluish, and as if her hair was made of branches. And on that note, we'll take a short break here. Hey, people, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had a good break. We had a good break. We saw a kitty, which is all we really need on the break is to see them. Just there we go.
Yeah.
And a
Cat
black
tap.
kitty too. Apropos.
Cat trying to eat an Oreo. Oh, perfect.
We have it all here. We have it
Perfect.
all the entertainment that's fit for man and beast. My friends, before the break, a bunch of weird things had happened. So you showed up in town looking to investigate the murder of some local officials who had apparently been murdered by the devil. These things happen. You showed up at your contact, who was a lawyer who had just been murdered hours before you showed up. Investigating the situation, you uncovered some clues, some different things about some possible connections between the different victims and some land deals and this, that, the other. You did feel the presence of Vaesen in the area, so there's it's quite unclear if there's one or two or what's sort of going on. One kind of appears to be malignant, but they're connected but separate. You don't know exactly what's going on yet. You had a seance, or Juliana tried to use her medium power and saw a lot of weird things going on, including in the clearing where there was another woman where Lorelei was going, and Lorelei was attacked and knocked out by what appeared to be a goat-headed man. You showed up, helped up Lorelei, discovered an altar, a grave where what looks like a goat had been buried some time ago. A ram's head, skull was on the altar. It's not quite clear what the altar was all about. You could not decipher its true purpose. And then you set off to follow the tracks of the assailant back towards the town. Tracks that were booted feet, not hooves, as one might have expected. And in the last moment, Althea had a strange moment as she looked at her wife, Juliana, and instead of the woman she normally sees, saw a different woman with blue glassine skin and branches in her hair, and just, this is not the woman I married. What's up? What's up with that? The other thing that was weird is when you came out of a copse of trees, hours had passed. You heard a bell toll, and night had fallen. You're not quite sure where those hours went. In fact, things seem to be a little weird since you got here. We're not going to lie to ourselves about it. But, the great second cousin twice removed of very famous detective is here, so maybe you'll be all right.
First cousin, but
Who's Skyline? My friends, as you follow the tracks, they lead back into town. Oh, you've lost Dandy, also the Irish Wolfhound, unfortunately. You head back to town, and as you're approaching town, the tracks start to get muddled and mixed up with other tracks of the town, and it eventually becomes very, very difficult to follow them. You're now standing, I would say, a certain distance from the lawyer's office, having kind of gone the long way around, having come back to town. Of interest, perhaps, to use the church, the actual church of the town, which is not too far from here. And all the way across town, you know the Black Church, which appears at night out in the field. That field is in the northwest, as you would have had information. And so that's kind of across town. So you could head there. You could decide to go talk to Ezekiel if you wanted. Go back to the Wick and Tallow for, some stew and a drink. Which you're probably not going to do, but I'm just sort of listing your options. What would you like to do?
Did the bell come from the northwest or from the actual church?
It came from the actual church.
Okay.
I must admit, I'd be remiss to say that we didn't take the opportunity while it was available to us to go check out the aforementioned suddenly appearing church.
I feel like if we're going to do that, we should probably take the long way through town to see reactions of people who live here. Just to see, just gauge, like, we already kind of knew this town felt weird, but gauge it a little bit more now that the church is probably in the field.
I suppose that's fair.
And we might find Dandy on the way. She looks over to Lorelai is like, we might find him on the way.
What Mandago?
We'll
Somebody-
find him eventually. He
Somebody may
can
have
take
found
care of
him.
himself.
True, but yeah.
So then you walk across town, kind of keeping an eye out. What you realize is that the bell tolled pretty much at 6 o'clock, which is when darkness has kind of really fallen around here. People are hurrying home. That is like the one thing that is clear. Everyone is just, heel toe, and heading home. Shops are closing. Everything's kind of closing down. So they obviously fear the night. You do see the priest, the pastor, on the front steps of the church. People are coming to him and kind of going into the church, and you guess that maybe some of them come here for like a little bit of a spiritual picker-upper before the darkness of the night falls. The lawyer that you spoke to earlier wasn't wrong. The priest does look a little poorly. He looks a little drawn and haggard. As you are crossing then the square, leaving the church behind and kind of heading towards the other thing, you see ahead of you, probably with some measure of relief, Dandy. But Dandy is not alone. Dandy is currently being held by the leash by a woman. And I'm going to show you a picture, but I totally put the wrong name on it. So really don't pay attention to the name. I'm just dumb. Or did I? I did. Okay. The name should not read Abigail, it should read Prudence. But you do recognize the woman from the earlier vision. I just put the wrong name when I did the character card. This is not a GM mind trick. It's
I'm gonna run up very quickly.
Danny's sitting there next to her, tail's wagging a little bit, kind of looking around, and he sees you. You know, he kind of perks up, and she looks down, and she goes, "Oh," and she sees you crying. She goes, "Is he yours?"
Yes. Thank you. Hopefully,
No problem at all. I'm just glad I was able to find his owner. He just came running out of the woods not long ago, and he seemed quite lost, but he seemed like a friendly sort of fellow. So,
he's a good dog. You seem
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I was coughing my freaking lungs out, and all I heard was the sound of my own body dying.
No worries. She says, "You look incredibly familiar. Perchance, could I have seen you in the forest earlier?"
That depends when. I was out there picking some herbs and flowers earlier. Have you been out there all day? But it was a few hours ago. Have you been out there all day? Oh, by the way, I'm terribly sorry. How very rude of me. My name is Prudence.
Oh, sorry, Laura Lee. Never been great at pleasantries.
Oh, it's quite all right.
I was in a clearing, new to town, trying to look into something. Did anyone recently lose a goat or ram?
Recently, no. It's a bit of a strange question, but I believe the Millers had a ram that died sometime would have been around this time of year last year.
Oh. We just stumbled upon something odd, that's all.
Oh, anything I can help you with, or?
Possibly. I'm gonna kind of like give the come here hand to.
Oh, there's
rest
a whole
of the group.
gaggle of you.
Yes.
Carlisle probably wasn't too far behind once they realized that this is who Laura Lee saw.
Oh, you've picked a rather interesting time to come and visit, Petersham.
Yes, quite. Hey, I apologize. I don't believe we caught your surname.
Wilbur. My name
Wilbur.
is Prudence Wilbur.
Married?
No. Is that a problem?
No, of course not. Just curious.
Well, it seems that you've found your good fellow here. Is there anything I can help you with? Or I was just on my way home. You see, it doesn't behoove one to be out at night.
Completely understandable. Carlisle, the Millers had lost a ram last year.
Delightfully peculiar. Say, I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Abigail Brown?
Yes, she was the midwife of the village up until the spring.
She was midwife.
Yes.
What is it you do?
I was sort of a replacement, I guess.
Replacement.
Yes, people don't really have too much of a recourse for our skill these days, with Dr. Bartholomew in town and so forth, but they still once in a while will want the odd tincture or some herbal remedy, and we do what we can. Of course, we assist women who are pregnant also.
Were you close? No, go ahead.
That's what I was going to. You're good.
Well, Abigail and I close.
Yes.
Well, as close as two people who do the same work can be in a small village like this, I guess. We helped each other out, traded recipes. When one of us was out of her depth, she would call the other. So I want to do a couple things here. Go ahead if you want. Anyone who feels like it. And hold on, I'm looking for something. And you can give me empathy and observation rolls. Now, I will also say that for Althea and sorry, Joanna, right? Isn't I said Joanna or
Juliana.
Juliana. You do get the sense that they were probably close, but that, in a small village like this, you just wouldn't really.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking the they were roommates close or just close friends?
Well, at this point, it would be hard to ascertain exactly to what degree, but you are fairly certain that it was more than just, coworkers.
So like
Whether or not
Oh,
they
they were
acted, like,
roommates.
they were roommates.
yeah, but like, there's no way to know whether or not they acted on this. If they
Mhm.
just kind of both lived in denial or whatever,
Got it.
or if they, if they carried through. But you're thinking probably, either way, it was probably incredibly.
I will make sure that the two of us holding hands is visible.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
since Althea hasn't let go since the clearing, especially after what she saw, which she still hasn't said to Juliana at all yet. But like, Juliana probably saw Althea kind of quick blink, but then
Mhm.
like her grip on her hand got a little tighter, but not like painfully tight.
Okay.
And it's been that way since we walked out of the clearing and come into town and everything.
Okay. So she will definitely notice that, but not give at this point further indication. Did anyone want to roll then the empathy and observation?
Yeah, I will.
All right.
As well.
So the empathy and observation will allow you to know what the other two know, to get a sense of that also. And with the three, you definitely get the feeling that she's fighting really hard to kind of remain. There's an emotion that is very powerful that is, through practice, you would think, being bottled up and kind of put aside. You kind of get the feeling that, this is someone you could interrogate about a murder they'd committed and they would never slip up about it. Like, just that kind of level of.
Okay.
Can you
kind of-
describe what she looked like?
Abigail, she was slight, long blonde hair, early 20s, little cleft on her chin. And when she starts describing her, like, she kind of gets a little bit of a far off look, and like you kind of get a stronger sense there of like the attachment, but like it doesn't last long. She kind of clamps down on it right away.
Does that match what I saw?
Yeah.
You must have been so upset when she accidentally died.
People die accidentally all the time, especially
Right, sure.
in a village like this.
Close as can be, though. An accidental death in the middle of spring right after a host of winter deaths must have been quite alarming.
To be honest, considering everything else that's been happening in this village, it's one of the least alarming things that has happened.
Yes. I'm sure that Ezekiel was especially torn up about it, no?
You would have to ask Ezekiel. I will say, though, it's no coincidence that this black church has appeared here. Horrible sins were committed in this town. This town is filled with sinners. Give me an logic and vigilance.
Anyone that
Anybody?
wants to, or
One who feels like it.
I'm gonna give myself advantage with my notepad.
as a note to those following along at home, I have collected new dice.
That looks like a box of candy.
It does.
You know,
Forbidden
think.
candy.
1 success.
Oh, nice. Go
good. I got none. I'm glad you got it.
You're
Sitting on
you're too concentrated on holding her hand.
I had six
I have
dice,
to
and I got
hold this hand.
0. It's the only
And,
thing keeping her grounded right now.
Harley
2.
and Captain Havoc, 2.
Hey, whoa! I feel like a
Uh,
lot of accusations are being levied my way.
so when
We
she
do it out of
says
love.
this town is filled with sinners, you do notice that she's looking across the way at the pastor,
Hmm.
and then
Oh.
she'll look back at you and say, Abigail knew to what extent sin ran through this town. But if you'll excuse me, I'm glad I was able to help you find this one wonderful little boy, and she'll give you back the leash to Dandy. I'm sure you. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think very quietly enough that, like, since I'm within a distance of her, like, as the leash is passing, I'm going to say, I've never been one for religion of that.
Well, good. Let that be your shield.
We're trying to help her.
She gives you a sad little smile, and grabs up her basket of flower and herbs and turns around and walks off.
She was good. I don't think I've interrogated anyone like that for quite some time.
Has been a bit.
I think that was Abigail I saw.
It had to have been. Especially if she was the one in the clearing.
I think she was.
Clearer and clearer picture still. So, what do we know?
Laurelie, can I do a once-over on Dandy, just to be safe?
Of
I'd like to roll
course.
a medicine check on Dandy.
Okay, go for it.
While Carlisle is going through his, first cousin twice removed Sherlock Holmes shtick. One.
True of health.
Okay.
So, Moses dies, Ezekiel goes on a little wayside, and then Abigail gets convicted of being a devil worshipper of sorts and accidentally dies. Per her cohort, the priest must know something, otherwise he wouldn't have fallen in such ill health, perhaps of guilt or perhaps of some other thing. If we're going with the judge, jury, and executioner angle, I imagine Ezekiel had something to do with it, and our beloved leaders of the town helped cover it up, because Ezekiel happened to have come into quite a spot of land recently, hasn't he?
He did?
No, so Ezekiel always had the land.
Ah.
His family always had the land. They gave it to these.
Yes.
Blood money.
Deeded the land away for seemingly no reason except for he's sad he didn't want to deal with it. That seems awfully suspect to me, doesn't it?
Suspect indeed. I'm going to be just, like, behind Carlisle, like, giving the, all right, guys, play along.
Yes, it's,
Carlisle,
it's
rarely wrong, but
quite suspicious.
so what would you like to do? Oh, feel free to
I-
keep talking if you want to. I
Well-
didn't mean to stop the flow.
You're good.
Did the priest notice us having this conversation? Did other people seem to notice?
I think people are really kind of interested in getting the hell home.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get the sense that anyone paid you any undue attention.
Okay.
There are a few ways this could go, I think. It is perhaps possible that one of our two supernatural forces were caused by dear Prudence there, attempting to get in contact once again with her long-lost love, and the second being whatever the priest is dealing with. Some sort of ailment. We'd have to get a look at his shoes, I suppose, to confirm if he was there in that clearing, clobbering our friend here on the head, but I say we make way for the Black Church and see what we can find there before we go jumping to any conclusions.
We should definitely check out the Black Church.
Very well. You set off. Do you want to take a moment to use your memento to erase your mental condition, or do you?
I
want...
would love to.
So tell us a little bit what this memento is and how you interact with it to bring yourself some peace of mind.
The memento is a rabbit's foot. So she's in one hand she's holding her wife's hand, and in the other hand she's probably reaching into her pocket to just kind of rub the fur between her fingers. Kind of just like thinking about it and reminding herself of it, and the luck the luck that rabbit's feet are supposed to bring, and kind of using that to reassure her that she has that on her side. They have that on their side, as well as each other.
Excellent. And as you do this, you feel some of your strain kind of leave your body. Your mind become clearer, and you can erase your mental condition.
Great.
Great.
I think after I noticed that, like, I'm guessing like the like visible shoulder like relaxation after she's done with that, I think Althea's gonna lean over and quietly to you, not loud enough for the other two to hear it, and just lean over and go, I heard you say earlier that someone might have a passenger. Can you see if you have a passenger? Because for a second after we walked out of that clearing, you didn't look like you. And now I'm worried.
I can try to see, but I've never looked at myself for something like that.
Just
I don't
because
know if it...
the crystal shattered, Laura Lee got attacked. We went into a corpse of trees, and then hours passed in mere minutes. I don't normally subscribe to your proclivities of speaking to spirits, but things are lining up, and I'm not as sure in my mind as I used to be. So now I'm worried.
What did you see?
Your skin was a different color. Unnatural, beyond death color. And twigs and branches for hair?
That is unusual. All right.
So you can see why I'm a little worried.
Yes.
Or it could have just been my mind playing tricks with me.
I
don't know.
See a ghost.
You saw a ghost. Right. It could just be my mind playing tricks, which, if it is, it's annoying, but we can manage. Right. And she just squeezes your hand and stops mid-sentence and just...
Yeah, squeeze it back.
Just like, she can't process. She's trying to put it to process words. She just can't process, so she just stops talking about it. mid-sentence.
I'll pay close attention. Let me know if you notice anything else.
I will.
So you turn to head across town. Just as you're turning away, Laura, you feel a tug on the leash, and you see that something has grabbed Dandy's attention, and he's kind of turned around and looked behind you.
I'm gonna look where Dandy is.
You look at Dandy, or look at where Dandy's looking.
The direction.
You turn around and you see that the church is on fire. There are flames that are licking at the roof. The stone is cracking. There are people screaming and running out of it. Their hair is on fire. They're on fire. The place is just burning down.
Is this like the normal church in town?
Yeah.
Oh,
And we didn't hear anything behind us?
And you still don't hear anything. You're walking away. Laura Lee's the one who turned to see this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, fair.
I'm going to just very casually say, I know that sinners burn in church, but I think this is a little on the nose.
You
Beg pardon?
turn
Yeah, I'll turn
around.
around at that comment. What?
Yeah, I'll turn to look and see what Lorelai's
No,
referring to.
Lorelai's looking at the
Lorelai's.
church and just kind of staring at it. And Lorelai, the church is not burning.
What do you mean?
So it was on fire.
That does not bode well.
Imagine it's supposed to.
Let's hope that's not a premonition.
I really hope not.
Do we want to go look or continue towards the Black Church?
I feel like we should warn them at least.
Will
Or-
they believe us?
Yeah, will they listen?
Or
That's the
yeah,
question.
no, you got a point. Maybe it is the Black Church checking it out, stopping whatever is to come. God. Sure. Let's go to the creepy church out in there. Yep, this is what I signed up for. And I'm just gonna start walking with the dog, grumbling under my breath about just the phrases I think that utters is really dark place. Really, are you kidding me right now? And I'm just gonna walk as I'm mumbling.
Oh, man.
As you cut across town, people are hiding away, closing the shutters. The town is kind of shut down. It takes you quite a while. It takes you maybe like a good half hour to trek out there. I will ask all of you to give me just a quick, let's just see how you fare on this. So just give me a quick physique and force roll.
Two sixes.
Okay.
I made the right choice.
Two
Cool.
sixes. I should not have gotten 2 6s on 3d6.
But you got it. All right.
I rolled 4d6 and got 2 sixes, so.
The way is quite challenging, quite grueling. Althea, you will take an exhausted physical condition unless you have a way to circumvent it.
I'm not going to use it yet because this is a new scene and I want to save it just in case shit hits the fan. So I'll take the exhausted condition. That's
Okay.
fine.
By the time you get there, as I said, it's quite grueling. You're going through very dense forest. The ground is very treacherous. It's a little bit uphill. Like it's just realize, especially after a full day plus the travel, it's quite grueling. You arrive at the church. The first thing you notice, and I've put an image up on the owlbear if you want. It is in fact a black church. Now, the thing that is big kitty. The thing that is kind of interesting about it is that it's impossible to tell if it's black because it's painted black, or if it's black because it's just absorbing whatever moonlight is kind of available around it. It is shrouded in this pale blue mist. The ground is littered with black flowers, even beyond the scope of the immediate zone around the church. It looks, in all other ways, it looks like an absolutely normal church, like you would see in a small town. It's not like it's got upside down crosses and pentagrams. It's just black. And again, it's impossible to tell if the wood is colored black, if the stone is colored black, or if it's just absorbing all the light around it and kind of eating it up. The other thing you notice of interest around it is a giant tree that is all gnarled and twisted and very old, very big, and just looks kind of weirdly menacing. There are these black tendrils of thorny vines kind of all around it. And even from a distance, as you're kind of approaching it, you can see what appears to be old patches of dried blood kind of covering all of it. So, first things first, my influence. I would like you to make me a fear check. Now, to make a fear check, as I said, it's either your logic or your empathy. Take into account conditions if you have them now. You do get a bonus for each ally with you in the scene, up to 3. So since there's 4 of you, in addition to your logic or empathy, you can roll 3 extra dice.
Plus my
And that-
+1 to fear from Brave.
Plus your
Brave
plus
is the
one to fear.
best.
Say it's not involving dying or dead bodies, is it? Because I have
Not
armor
yet.
medic. Okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
It's a straight stat, right?
yeah. Plus 3 dice because you get 3 allies.
Oh,
3
wow.
friends.
I'm using all my dice that I pulled out. Let's see if I get
Nice.
lucky.
It was worth making the trek to get those dice.
Yeah.
Is it the orange dice?
It's the orange dice.
Because
Halloween
orange
dice.
is a part of my logo. It's one of my colors.
Orange
Also
is
the
my
best color.
Orange is my favorite color.
There you go. Oh, see,
I got-
birds of feather. All right.
Hey.
So you're good with the success. The people who got 3, not only do you not feel fear, but you see this now, and you kind of see. You're finally seeing the heart of the matter. You're kind of finally seeing this is the enemy. We finally kind of put a face to it. We know where it is. This is where it's happening. This is where it's going on, and you kind of get like a sense of, for ill, or for better or ill, like this is where answers are. This is where. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a oomph. And I will say that the next time you have to make a fear check, if you have to make a fear check on the grounds of the Black Church, you can carry 1 dice over with you. Okay. What do you want to do? You have walked up to the gate surrounding this church. It is ominous. It feels like a living, malignant presence. It just sort of hovers there. It blocks out the light. It feels ancient. It feels like it's watching you. It feels like it's trying to get into your head. You can definitely just feel the ancient sort of raw power of it that's kind of emanating from it. It's changing physically the land around it. Like I said, all these black flowers and all these things around there.
And
What would
just
that do?
just to double check, it is a different architecture. Like it's not the same. It's not the same, like a black copy of the church
No.
that's in town. Okay.
No.
I was going to ask that too. Good idea.
No, in fact, it's kind of lacking in details, almost like a church that someone had made from like a drawing or a memory rather than like like when
It's
you
the
look at it
idea
up
of a
close.
church.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
are all the
Something
flowers
you notice though that is different than maybe what you'd heard before is that there's a light glowing inside.
are all the flowers the same type of flower, or is it
Yes, they are.
okay? I'm going to ask what kind? Do I need to roll
Well,
for that?
give me a precision and medicine check.
Okay. You know, we're gonna start incorporating those vertebrae dice. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I got 1.
No problem. Let me just.
My brain automatically went to lotuses, but that's because I play magic. So.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking for my notes.
My void is screaming at me.
I was gonna say, are you having issues with your 4-legged void?
Yes, she's yelling at me because I'm not playing with her. So if you hear me yelp or like suddenly like startle, it's because she's put her claws in my knee.
This is a species of flower historically known as the black hellebore. It is known to be highly toxic, and can cause things such as tinnitus, vertigo, stupor, thirst, anaphylaxis, emesis, which is vomiting, catharsis, bradycardia, which is a slowing of the heart rate, and finally, collapse and death from cardiac arrest.
So Althea's gonna open her doctor's bag and basically pull out essentially cloth masks, like the very rudimentary cloth that you might have in a surgery, and hand them to people. Just hand them out. She doesn't know if it has to be broken down and put into a liquid, or if it's on inhalation.
Yeah, so you would know that it is the stem and root of the plant that are dangerous.
Okay.
They have to be ingested somehow. They can be put in water and steeped. They can be eaten. They can be the petals themselves are not dangerous.
Okay. I'm still gonna hand them out because this is also a weird looking mist. So
yeah, Juliana will automatically put hers on.
Yeah.
Lauralee goes up to the flowers and just says, "I used to pick these when I was a kid."
Wait, this particular kind?
Well, a bunch of different ones, but this is familiar.
These are dangerous.
I know.
Okay.
What do you wish to do?
Who's feeling particularly brave?
I mean, I'll at least walk up to that gate where the lantern is. I want to kind of get without going into the yard yet, I want to kind of get a closer look at that tree and those thorny tendrils and the blood and all that.
When you get to the gate, you notice that at the top of it there's a kind of stylized devil's head with ram's horns on top of it, and as you approach, the gate slowly swings open.
What a welcome. Anything I notice about the tree and the tendrils and all that?
No, do you go?
Oh, I'm staying on this side of the gate still. I'm not going in yet. But I am.
Well, give me then a logic and vigilance.
Okay.
I know that there's observation there, and observation may feel to you like it should be the thing we use to spot, but observation is in this game is very clearly aimed at picking up things about people's emotional state and things of that nature. Vigilance is the one about seeing things.
Hey, we've got 2 hero points. Use one. Oh wait, well that would only give you an extra die, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so an advantage in this game is 2 dice. So I'm not sure what the hero points do normally, but if they normally give an advantage, you should be getting 2 dice.
I mean,
okay.
Do we want? I mean, I'm just checking out the tree. We can keep going without that. I don't think
it's up to you.
You can also go up to the tree. I'm just saying.
Carlisle's waiting at the edge of the gate, like just for permission to go in.
Oh, we've never had to give you permission for anything. Like, I feel like the rest of us are just like, Carlisle's gonna do what he wants to do.
It seems like a particularly concerning situation. I didn't want to alarm you by thrusting my way in.
I'm gonna put my hands on my hip. You wanted me to go first.
No, I'll go first happily.
I'm just walk in.
You walk in.
Follow.
As you step through the gate, you start hearing far in the distance
Banjos.
notes of a banjo.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Only this time, the music's a little different. You recognize it. It's the music from your music box.
Yeah.
Is that your memento?
Yep,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what that means. I'm gonna kind of look around the tree and whisper, Galibrate?
I need to know, are you approaching the tree?
Yeah, I'm approaching the tree.
Okay, go ahead. Say what you were going to say. Sorry.
Galibrate?
You get no response. However, I would ask you to make me a physique and agility roll.
Oh, God.
If you still have your physical condition, remember to take one dice off your roll.
No dice.
As you approach, you try to be careful, but you misjudge your step and you end up pricking yourself on the thorny vines that are around this tree. However, there's a prize that comes with that, and that as you're closer to the tree now, you notice that I said there's blood on it, but you also notice that there are chains and manacles that are nailed to the tree. They're kind of old and rusted, but they're there. The wound on your hand just kind of itches a little bit and just a little bothersome, but you know, you pull out a little thorn.
Just pluck it out, throw it, just keep going. Looks like something might have been chained to this. Or someone was for something else.
What's everybody doing?
I think Carlisle's just having a stroll around the windows, having a peek.
I'm probably behind Lorelei, but not like I'm not getting into the thorns. I'm staying a bit out.
Is that lantern? Is that lantern actually glowing green, or is it?
No, it's just kind of a weird, sickly yellow color.
Okay, just making sure because I'm like, that's it's not natural. But if it's regular yellowy, then okay, fine.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
Oh, I guess I'm last. I guess me and Juliana, the last one's in, but we're technically through the gate. So if it slams behind us,
no, it doesn't. It stays open.
Okay, good.
So anyone who's kind of near the tree or looking at the tree, you can go ahead and make a vigilance and logic check. I'll get to you in a second, JT.
Take your time.
Oh no.
1 success.
Oh, fine. Why not?
3.
Wow.
Never mind. I don't really need to, but I'll do it anyway.
Vigilance is like one of my best.
2.
Okay. You will all notice this first part, which is that at the base of the tree, there is a fairly big boulder that really doesn't look like it belongs there. With your extra successes, you will notice, Lorelei, that it is covered in the same kind of runes that were at the other place, the altar, very similar, and there's clear indication that it was brought and placed there. You can see ruts of wheels of like a wheelbarrow maybe or something like that. And of interesting note is that they go through where the gate is, not the gate that opens, but the fence. Sorry, as if the fence it was brought there when the fence wasn't there or something to that effect. And you can clearly see like that tools were used to move it and put it in place.
This is definitely put here.
Certainly doesn't match the rest of this.
I wonder if the tree is still here even when the church isn't. We didn't get a chance to look.
I mean, I've got a way to get into it if we need to. But...
I mean, I wonder if this isn't part of what's causing it. It's certainly odd that it's here if it's not related.
What do you want to do?
How large is
You have a lot of difficulty moving it without tools.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a knife that can cut through this. Currently, I'm gonna be at 3 dice if I try to do it without using my memento.
What's to do what? Physique close combat?
Physique force.
Force. I'm at 4.
I'm at 4. We are not a strong bunch.
I will say that one person could help you. Like you could be 2 people handling the knife, so you could get an extra die that way.
Yeah, because that would
Using
discount my wound at least.
I'm gonna just.
I don't like the sight of it there. That doesn't feel like a good sign.
Sorry. All right. So.
Do you...
I'll help.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 choices. You can either make physique and agility rolls to try and avoid the thorns, or you can take a moment to cut through them or try to burn them or something to get rid of them before you approach.
I'll cut through. Try and slice a path at least. I've already been pricked, so I'd rather no one else. Whatever this is, I'd rather be the one that has to deal with it than anybody else.
Okay, well, I'll say if you take your time and you do it, you don't have to make a roll. You'll just kind of methodically, and since you've already been pricked, you don't have to check for that stuff. You'll cut through it sort of methodically, and eventually you get to the rock itself. And now that you've approached it, the other 2 you can see also that it's got kind of the same runes and markings that the other thing had. You want to try to cut through the stone?
Before that, I'm gonna look at Juliana and say, do you know what this means at all? I don't want to accidentally cut something and release something.
And I'll a learning check to see if I can.
Sure, but because you already tried and couldn't get anything, I'm going to give you a 1 die penalty.
Okay. 3 dice. Here we go.
Okay.
3 6s.
Nope. Nothing.
Again, it just seems like a bunch of gobbledygook, really.
I don't recognize these. I can't tell you what this all... No, it doesn't make sense together to me. I can recognize things individually, but together it's... Together I've got nothing.
I'll kind of look at the rest of the party. Do you want me to break it?
Maybe we look around more first. See what else
Okay.
we can find. It's also possible that instead of this causing it like whatever this is messing with this.
Very true.
I'll look over towards Carlisle, who's sneaking around the windows.
Speaking of Carlisle, as you were going around trying to peek inside the windows, and you don't see much, you just see like what looks like a regular church, except everything's kind of black drapes, black pews, black dais, black lectern. Except there's one lamp that's inside on the altar that is burning. As you were going around, the other three obviously didn't wait for you because they're inside the church now, and sort of going around inspecting things, touching things. What would you like to do?
I think Carlisle's just looking for anything weird, looking for anything peculiar.
Around the church is not much. You do find kind of like a secondary door in the back that leads inside. It's ajar right now. There's a bit of red light that's kind of spilling out through it. You don't think they went in that way? They probably went in through the front door. But
They go in that way.
you go in?
Yes.
All right. You
Oh no.
Interesting, a light!
step into the church. You hear them talking. Give me a logic and vigilance.
Chicken vigilance.
Oh my god.
Gonna do a goofy.
Yeah, we're definitely in there. Mm-hmm.
Yep, we're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the devil are besties today.
Excellent. You hear Althea say, I know for a fact that he's been working against us. And I know you don't want to hear this, but I think this may be the best opportunity we have of making sure the society doesn't have to suffer for him. I mean, anything could happen to him in here. And then you hear Lorley say, well, we can't just kill him. He's one of ours. And then you hear Althea say, I know it's not very, it's very distasteful, but you've seen the same things I've seen. He's clearly dangerous. He's clearly working against us. And then even the Irish Wolfhound seems to be kind of getting into it now. And no,
He's very expressive.
Very
and
expressive.
Gianna's like, I hate to disagree with you, Althea, but did I hear something? And then they kind of go quiet.
Sort of begin to creep my way through the church. Anyone who could be listening would hear the click on their father's cane as they sort of slowly pull out a finely made rapier.
You push aside a heavy black velvet curtain and you look inside the area in the church. Meanwhile, outside, around the tree, what are the rest of you doing? You look for Carlisle, you don't see him anywhere.
Delightful. Fascinating. Scary? No. No. A little.
Must
I-
have gotten ahead of us.
I like he always does.
He wanders, but it's because he's brilliant. Okay, we need to find them. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, sorry, no, it's all right. You said any pronouns for Carlisle, right? Okay.
I'm going to go look for I'm gonna go look for Carlisle and try to find a spooky corner that I would normally find Carlisle in, so
Okay.
Carlisle doesn't get hurt. Like that, my job is to protect them. That is
So
most
do
important
logic
thing.
and vigilance. Meanwhile, as Laurel's walking away, you hear Juliana, that voice that you heard earlier, the girl. You hear that "help me" sound, and when you turn towards it, it seems to be coming from the tree.
I will inspect the tree closer.
As you approach the tree, the manacles, the chains suddenly shoot out, grab your hands. You are pulled severely to the tree. You are slammed against it. You see Althea sort of leaning over you, going, "This won't hurt, my love." And she starts cutting into you, and she's pulling pieces out of you, and she's investigating these things as she's pulling them out. And she's like, "I'm sure my missing piece is in here somewhere." And she just keeps cutting, and you see your body the way it can also look sometimes. And she's like, "You hid so much away from me. Why did you hide all these things from me? We could have been doing this so much earlier. We could have been achieving things so much earlier if you had just helped me." um, Althea, you see Juliana is just kind of standing there rigid, looking at the tree, eyes wide, not moving.
If I can get to her without pushing her into thorns or such, then I would. And I would basically grab her shoulders, not spin her around, but grab a shoulder and just ask her what's wrong.
You reach out, you grab her, you pull her. Juliana, you feel her hands on you. She's digging into you as she's like trying to pull you apart. Now she's trying to pull your arm out of its socket. And she's like, "I'm sure there's something here. You're holding back from me. You're holding back from me. Give me your secrets." And she's pulling at you. Um, she's, again, kind of catatonic and just turning towards you, Althea. Um, Eyes wide and sort of look, and when she sees you, you can see fear enter her eyes.
I'm gonna do it. I slap her to try and knock her out of it.
All right, you haul back and you slap her, and just as your hand connects with her, Lorley, you are coming around the side of the church, and on the steps to the back of the church, you see a familiar figure, a short man in a dark purple suit with a top hat, got reddish hair, a little bit of a goatee, and playing the banjo, just plucking away at it. No, he's just kind of plucking away at it, not making any particular song. And he looks up, he's like, "Ah, well, it's so nice to see you. It's been a while. Come, sit with me. Sit with me like you used to."
Really?
"Why not? Oh, you've got something better to do?"
I'm trying to go to the deep, dark places like you asked me to.
"Well, I think you're pretty much there, darling. Like, I don't think it gets much deeper and darker than this. And trust me, I've been to those places. This is pretty much one of them."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just
Isn't
gonna
it great?
sit down.
So tell me, how are you feeling? How's your sister? Sister all right? How's she doing?
She's alive.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
Mm-hmm.
I worry, you know. Come at her head. I worry all the time. I worry.
I'll do what you want. Okay? I
Mhm.
made the deal.
Mhm.
Now, what is it?
Oh, it's a very simple task, but you should rejoice. We finally reached that point where get to pay your debt. If I were you, I'd be happy with that. Like I'd feel like a sense of relief. Like it's almost over. Don't you feel a sense of relief?
I feel a sense of foreboding.
Oh, foreboding relief. It just really depends if you're like a positive person or a negative person.
I don't know. Growing up in a cult, that kind of makes you have a skew on life.
Well,
So what
yeah.
do you want from
Well, I want you to kill the priest.
a priest?
Yeah, the pastor in town. If you could fucking drill him in the head for me, I would enjoy. Well, you don't have to kill him by shooting him in the head. You can do whatever you want, like chef's choice. But like, just kill him for me. You kill him for me, we're square, darling.
Yeah, because that's not going to get me in trouble at all. At
Well,
this point, I'm pacing in front of the steps.
Yeah, but compare that trouble to the other trouble, and I'm thinking, you're getting off lightly here.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just gotta kill a holy man. That's
Well,
great.
he's not really that holy, if you get my meaning.
Okay, so I'm not gonna feel as bad about it. Fantastic.
No. Actually, you should feel like you're doing, this world a favor.
Okay.
You don't believe me, do you? That's
Not at all.
That's your problem, ye of little faith.
I have no faith. I have none. I had faith, and then my sister was almost killed, and then I made this thing happen.
But you got it all wrong. It's not a question of I had faith and then I lost it. You had faith in the wrong things. Only a fool doesn't change his mind when presented with new information, and new information has certainly come to light.
Great.
So look, you got one guy who's in there, freaking some, like I don't know what they're doing. They're in there just stomping around, and they're shady. But that one in there, they're shady. Like I don't know what's what, but something's wrong with them. You got a couple others losing their minds up front. Like they're losing their minds. All right, like this is just gone. You shouldn't add the tea, is all I'm gonna say. But we're here now. We're gonna make do with it. Look under the rock. Get your friend out from that. I don't know why they went in there. Like, who goes in there? I'm not going in there. I want no part of going in there.
I don't know why they went in there. It's because I wasn't within 5 feet of them.
Get them the hell out.
I'm just gonna go in, just cursing up a storm. I'm gonna walk into the church.
Don't forget to kill the priest.
Yeah, I will not forget. And I will go in to the church.
You go into the church. Meanwhile, inside the church, Carlisle, you push open the curtain and see the room is empty.
Suppose I was due for my turn. A ghost. Skin falling off your partner. Burning church. Huh. Interesting. Carlisle's just gonna have a gander. Have a wee peek around.
All right. You start. What would Carlisle know of, like, church?
They don't. They try not to go very often. When they have to, typically. But they understand like the basic layout, and most churches will have a little section for the priest to do paperwork. Get all that unholy legalese out of the way before we do the actual ceremony.
Would you be knowledgeable about the stations?
I think so. Not by any virtue of having experienced them, just from the work that they do.
I as you're kind of scoping around, you do see the portraits around the church of the various stations. They're kind of like half woodcuts, half paintings. Um, the last one kind of catches your attention because you can clearly see a church burning, and people kind of all around it, depicted in the station.
That is what Lauralee saw. Something like it. Hey, buddy. Examine this painting. Is there anything?
It's clearly not the village. It's clearly not the church, but it
Yeah.
is clearly a church that is burning. People running out of it in flames.
Is it this one?
No,
Not yet.
Can I take the painting down?
you tried to remove it. You can't. Like it seems to almost be like of one piece with the whole thing. There are several others. You can tell that there's like a whole bunch of them that go all around the.
I think they'll sort of squint at it before moving on. They're no painter, but yeah. Guess it's
And where do you go?
Is there sort of like a front place? Where's the lantern? You said there was a lantern in here.
Yeah, it's on like what would be the altar.
Yeah, go have a gander at the altar.
When you approach the altar, you can sense that, and you don't know why you're sensing this, but you can sense that there's something that's kind of trying to get inside your head. It's reaching in, it's kind of poking around, but you kind of feel like you're keeping it at bay, and you can feel that it's kind of getting frustrated. And as you get closer to the altar, you can feel it's getting more and more frustrating. It's trying kind of harder and harder. And it's really kind of trying to get at you and getting inside of you, but you're just kind of shutting it out. There's something about your mind, your brain, the way it is set up, that's just really kind of deflecting it. And you kind of feel danger coming from it, like it's really getting aggravated, and it's about to do something terrible. And just as like it's about to, and you know you got to do something, you got to stop or move or do something. The curtain parts, and you see Lauralee there staring at you.
I think Carlisle jumps at that one. Good heavens! Warn a man next time you're parting the curtains to come to back church.
Is this actually me?
Yes.
Okay.
Legitimate question.
Valid question.
Yeah.
Valid question.
I'm just. We need to go. We need to break a rock. Then I gotta go burn down a freaking church. And I'm just gonna go outside.
Okay, I guess you don't want to see the show.
What show?
Oh, there's something in this church that wants in my brain.
Uh,
For the first time in my life, being a Holmes is helping me.
There's just like this exasperated expression and just. Alright. What's going on?
Yeah, it's very angry. Might be dangerous. You could go back outside if you want. I don't
Okay.
want you to be in danger.
I am supposed to protect you. That's my job.
Well, it would seem being wired weird is helping me protect me this time.
Good. Great.
You
Alright.
seem urgent. Are you alright?
Friend from home just visited.
Like a friend from home, or like a friend from home?
Friend from home.
Oh, good. How's that going?
Not oh good. No, it's come to collect.
Collecting. Oh, to do what?
Okay, so when you came to the village,
Mhm.
the person being sacrificed was supposed to be another person.
Not You're... Okay. Right, sure. I'm following.
My sister's supposed to be the one sacrificed. Went to a crossroads, did the whole song and dance, made a deal. She didn't get sacrificed. Okay? Now I gotta go to the other church, gotta go kill a priest and cover it up.
We don't have to cover it up. People have been dying left and right in this village. You want to kill a priest? We'll kill a priest. That's fine. Absolutely. That priest is guilty of something.
Okay.
He's probably got it coming anyway.
Oh,
Plus, on the bright side, it may put the Vaesen at rest.
great. Okay. Hey. Okay. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's all gonna be fine. Also, never drink tea. Ever. It's always bad. Tea is always bad. But I'm just gonna go, walk down and go outside to go help Juliana.
When you
And
go
try
outside,
and
the
break a
door
rock.
closes behind you, slamming shut.
Oh no.
In front, you slap her. The slap reverberates. The slap heard around the world. Juliana, you come to your wife just slapping the bejesus out of you.
One hard slap. It's not multiples.
Yeah,
It-
you came to just before, so you clearly saw her. Like, you broke out of the vision just as she was hauling back and letting fly.
If she came out of it enough to see what was going on, Althea has that flat clinical doctor face before she slaps you. And as soon as she connects and sees that you're back to rights, just that clinicalness drops, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I had to. I'm sorry." And she wants to touch where she slapped, but she knows that's not a good idea. And she just kind of doesn't know what to do with her hands now that she just slapped the fuck out of you.
Y'all having fun out here?
Turn towards that noise.
See the short gentleman in a dark purple suit with a top hat, with a banjo on his back, kind of comes sauntering by, hands in his pocket. He's got like a black elbow just stuck in the corner of his mouth. Is this a domestic scene? Because, I don't want to intrude. What am I talking about? I do want to intrude. I love intruding. It's what I do.
You're muted.
Yeah, Todd, speak up. A little hard to hear.
While he's talking, I'm looking down at myself to see if any of that was.
No, you look fine.
Because I'm also not chained to the tree at the moment, so something. Yeah, we're crying definitely, and now we're staring at the small man.
Althea's already been staring at him.
Maybe I can help you. I like helping people. It's kind of my thing.
I'd love to know where the fuck you came from.
All over. I'm kind of a traveling man. Been all over. Hop a train here, get on a boat there, walk down the road here. All the same. Call me Slim Bones Barlow, amongst other things. But you look like people who are in trouble, and I am kind of like a trouble expert. I know a friend of yours, Lorley. We're old pals. She said you might be needing some help. She's in there trying to rectify whatever's wrong with your other buddy. Lost cause.
The music.
I've been known to play a mean tune, and pulls out his. Would you like to hear one?
Have you been around? Here recently?
I have been all over. But right now, I'm here for you. It's not really about who I am, it's about what I can do for you. I can help you. All you gotta do is ask. What do you want? Lay it on me. Marital problems? I can help with that. I don't have to be there or anything. I just
Is there a role to know if this thing is a Vaesen or if this is just some rando dude that's just hanging out in a black church?
Yeah, you can totally do a empathy and observation.
I'll do that.
Oh God, I got 4 dice, but let's see what happens. Jesus.
I got 7.
You know what? I'm gonna use a hero point to give myself 2 more dice because I need it. Fuck
Okay.
it.
Got 2.
2.
There's definitely some supernatural about this guy.
Are you responsible for this?
Hell no. Well, not all of it.
What part of it?
Just some of it.
Which some?
I don't know. Like, I don't want to tip my hand too much here. Like, how about you tell me what you think I'm responsible for, and if I don't say anything, I'm responsible for it.
I point to the rock.
No.
I point to the tree.
No.
I point to the church. Why?
Because of the first 2 things. You see, I know I come off as a little louche, but I actually care for people. People who do things for me, the people who help me out. I care for them. And when bad things happen to them, I don't like that. And so when bad things happen to the people I care for, well, I get bent out of shape a little bit.
Was it Abigail?
Oh, wait, we're not doing the thing. Yeah, it was Abigail.
Is that why she's crying help me at me?
Well, you can actually see her. That's kind of weird. You're odd. You're strange. Let me take a good look. Ooh.
No.
Whoa.
Just slide in front to like body block.
And then he kind of looks at Althea and goes, interesting.
I'd rather you not look at my wife like that.
I'm not looking at her like that. Promise.
So Abigail.
Yeah.
What did she do for you?
Nothing much. Just we hung out. We talked. She listened. She was a good listener. Very hard in my line of work to find someone who's a good listener. Like, people want things from you, but then once you give it to them, they don't want to know anything about you anymore. So it's kind of, Look, let me tell you what I hate. I hate more than anything else in the world fucking hypocrisy. Like, that thing yanks my crank like you wouldn't believe. That girl did not deserve what she got. You get her out of here, you give her a proper fucking burial. You know how you're running around trying to figure out, what's the power, what's the Vaesen, what's the devil, how do we banish her out? This is how you fucking get rid of me. You dig her out. You give her a proper fucking sensible burial. I don't care what kind of burial, just fucking with some respect. Some
That your
fucking
price?
respect. Huh?
That your price?
Hold on. We're not done. You give her some fucking respect. And then something's gonna happen later, and you don't get in the way. And then when you do that, I'm happy, you're happy, Abigail's happy. Your friend in there is happy. The other one, I don't know. He's weird. He's in there. I don't think he's leaving. Might want to put a cross on that one. But I'll tell you what. You take care of this. Oh, and that fucking farmer who killed Chester, I want him to fucking go too. All right?
The ram?
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
Isn't leaving.
What?
I point to the church.
Yeah.
Said our friend isn't leaving.
I don't know. I think that he's encountered something in there that titillates him in a way that other things don't, and so I have no clue.
This is your doing, which
Oh
means
yeah,
you're
no.
keeping him in there.
Okay, look. Okay, you know what? I'm like a fucking parlor magician, right? I do tricks. I'm like, ooh, look over here. And meanwhile, I'm doing something like that. That's what I do. I'm not the fucking devil. Did you think I was I'm not the devil. What are you talking? I'm not the devil. What's wrong with you? But sometimes you do things and other people realize, oh, that's going on. I guess I should go there. And then someone uninvited shows up. So that's kind of what's going on in there. So like if I was you, I'm going to make the whole thing disappear and hopefully whatever's in there is going to disappear too. But I wouldn't bet the farm on it. You know what I'm saying? Something came here that wasn't supposed to be here. And yeah, it's kind of my fault. And I kind of apologize for it. I kind of overdid it a little bit. But yeah, look, I'll do what I can.
Are you the one that's been killing people?
I haven't been killing anyone. I don't do that. Not my style. I got other people to kill for me.
Are you responsible for their deaths by asking other people to kill them?
No. I did not ask anyone to do anything. Now, what people decide to do with their spare time, that's their business.
Did you tell anybody to do
I didn't tell anyone anything. I ain't doing it. Some people just get eaten by guilt to the point where there's nothing left but to act. I just maybe remind people that they ought to be feeling guilty.
What do you know about the devil walking?
Oh, look, I'm not going to fucking answer everything. You figure that one out for yourself. All right, well, what is this? Like 20 questions? Look.
You told us to ask.
Do we? Yeah, that was like 10 minutes ago. Do we have a deal or not?
State the terms clearly.
You will find Abigail's body. You will dig it out. You will give her the proper burial. Something's going to happen later that maybe it's going to be distasteful for you, but you're going to let it happen. You're not going to try to interfere. And then maybe down the line, I'll ask you for a little favor. We'll see about that later. And then I will make this disappear.
I don't like that little part. I don't like that little part at the end.
What part? What are you talking about?
Asking for a favor down the line. No.
I didn't say that.
That wasn't part of your original.
I never said that. What are you talking about?
You did.
Mm-hmm,
no, I think Are you high?
I think you might be. But
right,
I think that's a constant state for you.
All right, fine. Forget that last part.
Okay,
just do the first parts.
What we do for you.
Oh God, it's one of those. Whatever happened to spit in the hand and get a handshake, eh? Look,
we get Abigail out.
You know what you gotta do. Get her out, proper burial, stay out of the way later. I'll make this go away.
And try to save our friend in the process, please.
Well, I'll make this go away. It's gonna depend on whether he wants to go or not. Like, All right, look. It's been a slice. Y'all are fun.
Is she down here under this tree?
Under the rock.
Under the rock.
I will see you all again about 3 years from now. Until then, behave. Keep up the good work. Turns around, pulls his banjo off his back, starts walking away, looking away at it. Lauralee, you come around the corner and you watch as your two friends are just kind of staring at the gate, which is wide open at the front. You hear banjo music disappearing in the distance.
Oh, he did not.
Meanwhile, inside. Hello.
Hello.
Would you like to play a game?
I suppose that depends. Is this the sort of game where I help you figure out my mind if you win?
Would you like to play a game?
What sort of game?
It's a game.
Just the game. Now, that could mean anything, couldn't it? You're not the one I'm after, are you? Well, not very talkative. That's not fun. And I'm not nearly stupid enough to play a game with a Vaesen. Or other spiritual entity. I'm gonna guess that once we figure out what's going on here, you go away. Or at least I reckon. I hope. It's gonna be a different problem if you don't, I suppose. But I'll handle that then. I'm on a mission. Save
You
a
said
Vaesen.
you want to stay a while.
I'll come back if there's, well, let's say, gift bags to come and collect. Yeah?
To date.
We'll see.
Ta.
Enjoy the remainder of your existence before the Revere comes for you. Once they figure out you're here or somewhere. Sorry, didn't quite catch that.
I said say hello to Sherlock for me.
No, sorry. Kazan doesn't visit much. Too busy hamming it up in England.
I guess he doesn't feel like he has to prove anything.
Oh, clever. All right. You know where to find me.
I do.
Carlo will go out the front if he can.
As you approach, the doors open. You step out just as Lauralee comes around the corner. 4 of you standing there. The doors close behind you. The light goes out inside.
Oh, now you decide to leave. Now you decide to leave.
I was waiting for something interesting to happen, Lauralee.
Did you? If you invited it to the house, then I protect again. I swear.
Oh, I said I would come back if it was still here after we figured out our thing.
Great. Okay. Can someone help me destroy a rock? I got the thing to destroy it. I just need some oomph behind it.
How
oomph
small man, black or purple
Oh God,
coat.
he did talk to you.
Banjo tricksy little son of a bitch, actually.
Please tell
Oh,
me
I
you didn't
hate
say yes
that
to a
guy.
deal.
Kind of. Sort of. I think. It involves the rock. He's super pissed about Abigail being done dirty, so to speak.
Yeah.
He says she's under the rock.
Abigail's under there.
Yes. He says she's
Good.
under the rock. He says he's the reason that this thing is here.
Not
Well, he didn't
surprised.
say it, but he said it in not saying
He
it.
implied it.
Yes.
You can never trust those double speakers. Don't like the tricky ones.
What do you mean by oomph, Lorley?
I need someone to help me, and I hold up a very intricately carved dagger that seems to be made of some bone that is not of this place, or more of a like tusk type horn thing.
Well, Carlisle, are you better with weaponry than I am? Probably.
Well, let's see here.
Is this going to be close combat or force?
It's force.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good heavens,
my-
no.
I have a 5.
I've got a 4 down to a 3 right
Oh,
now.
sorry. I have a 5 down to a 4 right now.
I could do a 3 up to a 5 with my scene-based item.
Actually, don't worry about it. You're going to take your time. You're going to get it done.
Okay.
Not a big deal. The vines with Galbraith leaving the vines have retreated. And when you go to cut, if you ever cut like cold butter, that's kind of what it feels like as you're
Oh, God.
cutting and slicing through this rock, but you're getting through it. Like it's not too bad. And eventually, as you kind of chip away at it and cut away at it, you find underneath, in fact, a set of human bones. As you kind of start pulling them out and whatnot, Doctor, I will say that you realize that this person died very likely chained to the tree under the blow of dozens, if not hundreds, of small, sharp impacts.
Is it just a skeleton, or does it actually look like a fresh-ish body?
No, it's just a skeleton.
Okay.
I mean, there might be hair left and a few things, but
Most of it is just bone.
Yeah.
Okay. Did your friend have any particular rights that he's more lean
I'm sorry, can I
towards?
interrupt one more second?
Yeah.
Now that the vines are gone, you also see that the area is littered with small rocks around the tree.
They stoned her.
Charming. Just charming.
I'm
Well,
not
he
gonna
wanted
feel
us
that
to
bad
bury
about this
her.
now.
He wanted us to bury her with respect. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Don't know
Let's.
if it should be here or
I
back
think
in town.
someone should.
Being next to the ram.
An idea.
It's an idea.
You also think you might talk to Prudence.
Yes.
This is gonna sound very weird, darling, but give me one of your petticoats.
Sigh and I'll hitch up to start.
I'm going to respectfully and as well as I possibly can wrap the skeletal remains in the petticoat to take with. So I'm not just carrying a bag of bones. It's an actual, like, she will hold it with respect since it was requested.
Not a problem. As you finish all that work of digging out the bones and doing all that, the sun starts to crest on the horizon, and as you're leaving the area, you can see slowly the church disappearing, the flowers, the gate, and only the tree and a broken down rock now remain.
I called it. Sorry, Althea gets a little excited at that she got something right for once.
We've got lots right this weekend.
We need to find Prudence.
You return to the village. As you approach, it becomes evident there's smoke filling the sky. You can hear a clamor. People are screaming. People are yelling at each other. You approach the town. You can clearly see that the church is on fire, as you may have predicted. But more than that, some of the other houses are starting to catch on fire. People are kind of acting crazy, running around. They look like they're in the midst of like some sort of psychotic hallucination thing. Like they're just screaming, pulling at their hair. There's just this mass madness that's just kind of ripping through the town as you walk in, and kind of people kind of ignore you, and you can just see that there's just something wrong with them, like they're on something or whatever. It's total chaos. It's total madness. Sorry.
They drank the
tea.
tea.
Total chaos. Total madness. You approach the church. You are carrying the remains of Abigail. You, Carlisle, have made some kind of promise to something. You've invited something. You perhaps wonder whether or not it will come, or you will encounter it again, and part of you probably thinks you wanted to. Juliana, you know there are things you should probably tell your wife. What will her reaction be? You don't know. You are pretty certain that what you saw is not what would happen, but you certainly hope it doesn't. She's already kind of seen part of it. It's very difficult to make that decision. As you walk into this crazy scene, this hellish scene of people just going mad, fire everywhere, people just losing their marbles, you carry this weight around your heart of the secret that you have. Althea, there's definitely something about your wife that you don't know, that she's not telling you. If nothing else, this place has sort of revealed that as much as you pride yourself on your precision and your intellect and your knowledge and science and all that, you've always known there was something different about her, something hidden. And you get the feeling that one way or the other, you're about to find out what that is. And as you're witnessing the scene around you, again, the fire, the madness, the one thing that's on your mind is your wife and what it is that she's going to tell you and how things may or may not change afterwards. Lorelei, as you approach the church, you feel a certain weight lifted off of you. You see your sister in your mind, and you see her sitting by a window, sunlight filtering in. She's working on some of her needlepoint that she likes to do so much, and she's humming a little song, and Dandy is curled at her feet on the ground, and you think maybe things are going to be okay, because as you approach the church, you see the pastor on the ground. You see standing over him, clutching what looks like a crucifix. It's Prudence. The crucifix is dripping blood. The pastor's head has been bashed in. Somehow, You know. You don't know how. But you know she's not the one who killed all those other people. And with that, my friends, as you stand there watching all of this madness unfurl all around you,
Holding a bag of
unsure,
bones.
holding a bag of bones, unsure of what's to come, wondering, was the devil ever really here? Thank you very much, my friends.
Oh my gosh.
Vaesen is not one of those games where you get answers to everything. At least not the way I play it. I will gladly answer your questions about it, though, afterwards if you want. So if you have questions, I will be happy to tell you about them. Everybody okay?
Yep,
Oh yeah.
Good.
that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tam. All right, thanks. That'll be it for us tonight. Hope people watching enjoyed. I do have a little something that I have to read to you. I'm going to try to find it. I remember where I put it. Won't be long. I had it somewhere. Here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you to the amazing cast. You were absolutely all fantastic. I would play with you anytime. You were all absolutely wonderful. I knew JT was amazing player, but you all also just fantastic. I wish this game could go on and on. If you like what we do, you can join our Discord at the button in the description. It's where we post our monthly casting calls, schedules, and where we just generally hang out and are giant nerds. We'd love for you to come hang out and roll some dice. I can actually say that it is totally worth your time to apply and come hang out with these fine people. I've now done a couple of games with them, both as a player and now as a GM, and it's always good time. Really good people here, so I certainly encourage you to do so. Once more, I would like to go around and give everyone a chance to tell people who you are, where they can find you. My friends, please tell us 411, and we will start this time with Mir.
Hey, everybody. I am Mir, pronouns are she, her. You can find me online as Mir Draws. And I played Juliana Thyssen, the occultist, and Changeling, secretly changing.
Thank you so much, Mir. What do you think happens? Do you think your character will reveal to her wife truth
Probably.
about her?
Probably. In a very private location.
I had you write that old description, and we never got around to you reading it, but at least we let a little bit of it.
That's
slip.
not good. That's not good.
I meant to have you do it, but it just didn't work. Thank you so much. Fun. And let's go to your wife. Let's go to the other half of this dynamic duo.
Hi, my name's Robin. I'm Ginger Brigade on Blue Sky and Twitch. I played Althea Thyssen, doctor, who I don't know if my dark secret even got used or not. Technically, I was being hunted by a Vaesen.
Yeah, that's one of those, like, at some point, like,
really
I considered putting that,
hard.
and I was like, there's too much stuff already in there, but next time.
Oh yeah, no, totally fine. Yeah, if if she gets told about it, that told about it's one thing, but I think because of how Althea is, you would have to physically show her. And as long as it was not as long as you give like a good 2 weeks after this event, she would probably be extremely surprised and then wonder if you were the one who was hunting her the entire time.
Well, that's exactly where my mind went.
Oh, God.
And I was like, there's too much stuff to do, but I was totally like, somehow, some way, this is how it turns out eventually that.
Okay, because if she's the one who's supposed to be hunting me, then that turns into a full flat-out fight, and at that point, it's just whoever gets the upper hand.
Now, maybe love wins out. Maybe love wins out, and
well, that's the thing. Like, it depends on if her as a Vaesen has changed heart other than trying to hunt my ass. So it's like there's a lot of dynamic there. But yeah, that's really cool.
Yes, because the other there was more than one Vaesen in this, of course, and
Right.
and one of them was Juliana.
Yeah. I love it.
Strange twist of fate.
I love it. I love it so much. Other stuff. I'm actually going to be on the channel in November, doing our Recall Week. I'm playing Relay Watch, which is basically shove Cthulhu and Baywatch together. I'm pulling my character from my first ever session / series with the Caravan. I'm bringing Maeve from Through the Breach from that game into Relay Watch. So come and check us out during that week. It's going to be the 10th. So like that whole week of November is Recall Week, where we're pulling all of our old characters. We've got a lot of new ones, old ones, dead ones, alive ones, doesn't matter. They're plucked out of existence and dropped into a different different system. So I'll be doing that in November.
Nice. Sounds cool. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robin. Very pleasant playing with you.
You too.
Good luck with Cthulhu and Baywatch.
Cthulhu and Baywatch, yeah,
There
great.
you go. That's a game that sells itself with just that. Cthulhu and
Right.
Baywatch, done. Here's some
Right.
money. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Mary Kate, I did not hurt the dog.
I wasn't worried. I was like, the dog will be fine. It's an Irish Wolfhound. If anything can survive out there, it's an Irish Wolfhound. So I am Mary. I've been playing Laura Lee Stewart, our hunter. You can find me at Nerd on Wheels 15 or the Nerd on Wheels, depending on the social media site. Coming up tomorrow over on 2000 Tales Roleplay, we're having a special Halloween charity event where we're going to be playing some spooky games and raising money for the Trevor Project. And then I'm also going to be in Recall Week, bringing back, well, I guess she's still in. We're towards the end of our season of Lancer, but I'm bringing my little pink Chaos Goblin, Zoe, to the Cthulhu world. So we'll see what my little anime Lancer will be able to do.
Everyone going Cthulhu. Cthulhu madness.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. She's already a little bit mad, so it's just gonna go up from there.
Nice. The door is already open. Thanks so much, Mary Kate. Appreciate playing with you also. And finally, the one, the only, JT.
I'm actually not the only one. There's at
Oh,
least
no?
3 more of me out there somewhere doing
Not
something.
that. That's
Watch your
concerning.
backs. Hi, I'm JT. You can find me all over the internet. We've Jeet. Tonight I was Carlisle Holmes. Long distant related cousin to Sherlock Holmes, about first removed, give or take. You can find me tomorrow on Neon Lights playing Lancer. It is our finale for the Minerva Exodus campaign. It has been a very emotional campaign, and tomorrow's going to be a very emotional finale for a large swath of reasons. You can find me Wednesday on High Shelf Collective, running the Beacons of Farlight using the Beacon system. It is a fun little gross punk world inspired by the likes of Warhammer 40k and the Tim Burton movie 9. If you guys have ever seen that. You can find me on Fridays, every other Friday, on Live from the Apocalypse, playing in our Regency Monster Hearts game, A Season of Secrets and Shadows as Lady Octavia Frostpin. And then, next week, you could find me in 4 games on Recall Week, backfilling for the various player seats. On Monday, I will be playing Forge, a mech pilot person in Paradox Perfect. We'll be bringing Weezer back from the dead for that game, as I am wont to do. On Tuesday, I will be bringing Caldwell from Nova into Lancer officially, so from one mech game to another. And on Saturday, I will be running Blades in the Dark for a wonderful group of players. And Saturday evening, I will be playing Fabula Ultima with Hoop and a swath of other people, where I'll be bringing back one of my favorite one-shot characters, Beep, to play in that. And then you can also find me it's in development, it's in production, we're in the early stages, we're running a Mech Finder game on our YouTube channel, starring James.
As always, more projects and there are days in the week.
True. I'm drowning.
And none of
JT,
them were
hey,
D&D, so it's kind of refreshing. that everyone's like, we got all this stuff and not really none of it. It's awesome. Thank you so much, all of you. We played Vaesen tonight. The game is available for free right now on Drive-Thru RPG, thanks to Free League Publishing, who's giving it away for Halloween, so you can run over there and get that. Thank you so much, my players. Thank you to Dido, who produced this whole thing. Thank you to Lost Caravan RPG, who invited me to come here and play this game. Loved it. Hopefully we get to do it again sometime. You're all wonderful. I am the Bleak Season. You can find me on my own channel and on Guild Superior. Saturday morning, 8 a.m. I'll be running a charity fundraiser for Extra Life with Tales of Initiative, where I'm doing a Dragonbane game. It's 8 a.m. Eastern. I have no clue I'm going to get up at it early, but we'll give it a shot. And on Guild Spear, we got 2 weeks almost of fundraising coming up also, with games almost every week with our friend Phoenixy Wacky. We are going to raid Wanderer's Haven, friends of ours. We're going to raid the Lollygaggers, but you came in here. Thanks for the raid, Lollygaggers. Thank you so much, everyone. That's it. That's all. We are out here. Catch you later.